Of the Big Ten Conference.
Big, bad Brett Bielema and the eclectic P.J. Fleck have their teams trending in the right direction. Fans on Appreciation Day await the players and a matchup made to order in the Big Ten. It's Memorial Stadium on Military Family Day, and number 24 Illinois is set to take on the streaking Golden Gophers of Minnesota. We're live. Hi again, everyone. By my side is Devin Gardner. You'll hear from Josh Sims a bit later. I'm Tim Brando. You know, November is to remember, but for either one of these teams, Devin, you got to win this game.
Yeah.
And if you look at this Illinois team, they're trying to flush a game, but Minnesota is streaking. They come in here supremely confident.
Yeah, and it's a big reason that they're feeling this way. It's because of their quarterback, Max Brosmer. He's really found his way with this receiving core. He's got on the right foot with those guys, and he had his best day a week ago. But, Tim, don't let that fool you. That's just icing on a cake. A cake whose foundation is in running the football with the young fella, the sophomore, Darius Taylor. For them to have success, they have to make sure they get him going. They're going to have to run the football to pass the football, and they should be able to do that today.
And he's got a little help, too. A variety of backs will come in and join them a little bit by committee. You know, Illinois, we talked about it, trying to flush out what happened at Autzen Stadium. By the way, I think the fact that they're still ranked sends some confidence to this team, because what Bielema told us is we got to flush it and move on.
Absolutely. This is a really good football team, and it means a little more for their quarterback, Luke Altmaier, a guy who got hurt in this game a year ago, a guy who just didn't play well a week ago, but he played well all season. And like you said, that's the reason they're still ranked. They've got a good, talented football team, and he's got some good news as well. His talented wide receiver, Pat Bryant, is clear to play, and they're really going to need him because they want to create some more explosive plays down the field in the pass game. They need him to do it.
These teams have designs on 9 and 10-win seasons. P.J. Fleck ready to row his boat here in Illinois in a matchup that may be flying a little under the radar, but our broadcast team will make sure it's front and center when we bring it back on FS1. Right after this, you'll hear from Josh Sims. Honoring the military today on Military Appreciation Day. Magnificent scenes on a resplendent afternoon in the Midwest, nearby Grange Grove. We honor America and those that fought for our country's freedom. Here in Champaign, it'll get up to 62 by game's end. Perfect, really, for college football, as is our sideline reporter, always on top of things, Josh Sims.
Well, Timmy B, I'll tell you that Illinois had some good news on the injury front. Like Devin mentioned, Pat Bryant good to go after that injury last week. But not only that, on the defensive side of the ball, corners Torrey Cox and Caleb Patterson both banged up last week as well. But head coach Brett Bielema told us they are good to go today. This team needs to be at full strength coming off that tough loss at the hands of Oregon. But Bielema told us they did something they don't normally do. They watched the tape. That's normal. They learned from their mistakes. But then on Sunday night, instead of waiting for Tuesday, they flushed it. They moved on to Minnesota prep, and he said that made sure that the bad vibes do not linger for this team. He said it looked good during the week. They refocused. They had one of their best practices on Thursday, so let's see how that carryover goes on out on the field out here today, guys.
Yeah, a lot of times playing on the road and you have a tough outing as they did in Eugene. It was a long flight back. So they were able, I think, really flush it, Devin, from the time they got on that plane and made their way back. In fact, they kind of moved up what happens on Monday to Sunday.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. It was a game that you, of course, have to learn things from, but you can't dwell on it. You have a new week, a team coming in Minnesota that is riding high, just like you spoke about.
Lenari Wilcher will be in single safety as Minnesota won the toss and deferred. Illinois receiving, and we'll have a touchback, and they'll bring it out to the 25. So immediately Luke Altmaier, who really made a statement in the game we had 5 weeks ago in Lincoln, Nebraska, that first Friday night offering that we had out of the Big Ten. And his momentum has continued through all of that as a leader and a guy that is supremely confident at the position. And, yeah, he had 3 picks a week ago. Probably only one of them you could really hold him accountable for. But other than that, he has been as efficient as ever. Aiden Lawfrey is in the backfield with him. That's a little play fake on the zone read. And right away, Pat Bryant, the aforementioned wide receiver. Great having him back. As Josh mentioned, he steps out of bounds just shy of the 44-yard line, and they get a first down on the opening play.
I love it. Get your guy involved right away. Put him in the backfield. And for Minnesota, they're committed to stopping the run, so they get those linebackers inside. There's nobody for Pat Bryant out on the outside. 19
yards on the first play. It's a very solid offensive front, and there goes Lawfrey. This is a defense, that's very stingy. Cody Littenberg coming up from linebacker makes that stop after just a 1-yard gain for Corey Heatherman's defense, the defensive coordinator for P.J. Fleck.
And for Littenberg, he beats the tackle or the guard to the play. A very nice job of him scraping over the top and getting to the running back.
2nd down and 9. Tight end Arkin in motion. Good coverage there on that pass to the back shoulder. Ethan Robinson was all over it. And here's some more on this Illinois team that's been both good, bad, and interesting through the course of the year. They're ranked for the 7th straight week. I think that's a credibility builder for them, particularly after losing the way they did. Most sacks allowed in the Big Ten. That's the bad. The interesting, 8 wins by 8 points or fewer. And that means that Altmaier is somebody that's making plays at the end of games.
Keep an eye on Pat Bryant, a guy they love to get the ball to in this situation.
Big league pass that's a little ahead of Zachary Franklin, who prior to Bryant's emergence had really been the first option offensively. 36 catches on the year for 12 yards per reception. Well defended there by Parrish. They call him Coy Wonder, this freshman from Esco, Minnesota. A lot more on him coming up.
Yeah, I've really loved what this team has done with Parrish, obviously coming in June because he has other business in high school. He wants to win championships in other sports. They didn't get him in the spring, and so they've kind of brought him along slowly, and he has taken advantage of all his opportunities, and you can see him. He's going to be explosive in the return game as well.
Well, this is a marvelous punt that's going to be downed inside the 5. That was a freshman mistake, allowing that ball to bounce inside the 53-yard line.
And we don't expect that, right? A guy with such confidence, you expect him to make the freshman mistake of taking the ball when he shouldn't, but he tries to be a good punt returner and have great poise, and he just misjudges this punt. A nice job of downing it inside the 2-yard line.
Yeah, that's out of Linden, Kansas, Tanner Heckel, and he'll be hearing about that.
The one thing I really do like is that he didn't make a bad play worse, right?
Yep.
All right, you misjudged it.
Yep.
Don't try to jump on it late and cause the Illinois football team to get the ball back inside the 5.
That'll happen sometimes with the trajectory of a punt. You don't want to make that mistake. Here comes Darius Taylor, bouncing it outside. I'll show you how shifty he is. Not much room there. Clogged up in the middle, but Alex Bray runs him down. But again, he gets 9 yards on a play that looked like it would be stopped at the line of scrimmage.
I mean, watching this Taylor film has been really impressive because he's just a sophomore. Remember that. He's a true sophomore. But his ability to keep his shoulders square and progress gaps like you just saw on that play, it looks like there's nothing there, but he continues to progress gaps outside, and it ends up with a 9-yard gain on first down.
Max Brosmer. What a find out of the FCS level from New Hampshire. Quick out. Good for a first down to Elijah Spencer, the wide receiver. Brosmer is a kid that just has tremendous confidence and a great understanding of the game. And when they were looking in the portal, PJ told us we had to get the right guy, the perfect guy.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy is all of that for us.
And when I spoke with his quarterback coach, his personal quarterback coach, Quincy Avery, he said he's been in workouts with all these NFL stars, and his knowledge of the game has even impressed them. So you can kind of know what kind of acumen he has for the game of football.
Out of the shotgun. Brosmer with time. Incomplete. looking for the tight end Frank Bierman, number 85, who backs up Nick Callerup.
Yeah, number 85 is going to come into your screen here. What you're going to see from Brosmer all day is the ability to get through his reads, and if he doesn't like it, he's going to find the check down. Right there, that was a check down where you stay in the block, and then nobody there to block. You get out in front of the quarterback so that he can put the ball there. A little off target, but you expect your tight end to make that catch.
They'll run 2 tight ends a lot of times, sometimes 3, 12 and 13 personnel. Now 2nd down and 10. Taylor again. He is shifty. Now, when they bring Marcus Major coming in, I know you're high on him too, number 24, when he gets in. Matthew Bailey with that stop. He's a compliment to Taylor because he's very strong and large at 6 feet 220. So they do use more. They don't have any Muhammad Ibrahims in that backfield, but they are very steady with 3 backs that they have tremendous confidence in.
This is where Illinois wants to make their money. They want to have an opportunity to have their talented cornerback, number 14, Xavier Scott, playing man-to-man on the talented receiver Daniel Jackson.
3rd down and 5. Safety valve out to Taylor. Well defended by Illinois. And Taylor is slow getting up. He's a little banged up. He loses 4 on that play. The coverage was outstanding here. Jaheim Clark, they call him Juice out of Riverdale High.
He can see it. He's in cover 2. He's the flat defender, and he just beats all the offensive players to the play. A very nice job. When you run cover 2, those swing routes, those plays into the flat, those short throws are going to make sure you're going to have a guy in the flat to make sure they stop that, and it's there right away. A very nice job by defensive coordinator Aaron Henry, understanding what he might get on 3rd and 5, but so unfortunate right now for Minnesota. Their talented sophomore superstar running back Taylor, it was down on the ground. He's up, jogging off the field underneath his own power. That is a big relief because you do not want to lose a guy like that in the first drive.
Well, let me tell you, Jaheim Clark is also shaking some cobwebs after the hit. He went low, and his head took a blow, too, so they're going to be checking him out as he makes his way more quickly to the Illini sidelines. We see a punt formation coming here with Mark Crawford. He's a 30-year-old, and by the way, Minnesota's punter who got him inside the 5-yard line, Hugh Robertson's 31. We've got 2 punters today that could be senior citizens in college football.
Hold on. I was about to say, I'm 32. I'm not a senior citizen. What do you mean?
If you combine both numbers, it's still 7 years younger than me, right?
Oh, yeah.
46 yards on that boot. Now it's time for today's Game Flow, sponsored by Progressive. The pageantry, the colors of the Big Ten, and a matchup that means a lot. In Brett Bielema's head coaching career, he's never lost to Minnesota. 10-0, even when Jerry Kill was here. 7 wins as Wisconsin head coach and 3 with the Illini. What a job Jerry Kill did when he was coaching at Illinois and, at Minnesota, and now he's running the offense at Vanderbilt. How are they doing? I'd say they're doing pretty well. Josh McCray is in the backfield, and there you see on the zone read, Altmaier keeps it, and that's a fumble. Ball is on the ground after that hit. Minnesota is on top of it. Baranowski with the recovery after that hit of Altmaier by Justin Wiley. He dislodged the ball, and Altmaier slow to get up. But Justin Wiley with a big-time pop. Hope Luke is okay.
What a nice job by Wally being that force player on the outside, putting his shoulder pad right on the football.
Yep.
It starts to come loose, but it's strong there. And then the continuation by number 92, Danny Strigo.
Yep.
Outstanding job of continuing to finish, right? The one thing I've seen from this Minnesota football team, particularly on defense, is their ability to strain and finish. And you saw a perfect example of it right there.
Yeah, Strigo had him sandwiched along with Wally. And then Baranowski on top of the football. And Minnesota with the first big break takes over at the 44-yard line. Keep looking at Altmaier. They need him to be okay.
Sudden change. It's an opportunity for a shot.
Indeed. And there's the out pattern to Taylor. They love him coming out of the backfield. That's the other thing about all three of these backs, whether it's Major or Nubin that comes in for him, they'll pass it to them. Caleb Patterson with the tackle, 14 yards for Taylor.
It's so impressive to see a running back who can line up outside and just run routes, right? He's a guy who was a receiver until his senior year of high school. And think about this, Tim. Last year, all season, he caught 11 balls. To this point in the season, after that catch, he's got 36 catches on the year. They made it a point to get him the football in the passing game.
Marcus Major, the aforementioned backup in the game. You don't see guys that size. Now, he's out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and for a guy that's only 6 feet, he runs strong, and he's got what old running backs would call high pockets, streamlined as a running back. And a compliment really to Taylor, who's more shifty and will bounce it outside.
Yeah, but down on the field, man, Taylor's got good size.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He is not a small guy, as you can see on that earlier play when the cornerback was a little shaken up after hitting him. He's a big fella.
Donovan Leary is warming up along the sidelines for Illinois, the backup. Brosmer looping it towards the corner, incomplete. Overshooting his intended receiver, Daniel Jackson, by just a bit. And Aaron Henry has some plans on how to defend Mr. Jackson today.
Yeah, and right there, he did a route that we call a circus, right? It's shaped like a C. You dive inside, go vertical, and then you go to a corner route. And like you said, the plan is for Xavier Scott, number 14 in orange, to make sure he follows him all over the field. Right there, I would say it's 1-0, Jackson versus Scott.
Xavier playing that nickel position.
This is exactly where they want Minnesota, in 3rd and 6+, so they can do a lot of exotic things. I think they're going to go back to cover 2 here.
Yeah, they're 6 of 36, and we've got a marker down for
false start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Larry Smith couldn't have said it any better or more on time than he just did. That'll back him up 5 yards to make it 3rd and 12. That's a heck of a stat when you think about it.
Yeah.
Minnesota, 3rd and 6 or plus yardage, 6 out of 36 on conversions on 3rd down.
Yeah, it's just not conducive to success to get into these situations. And when you go back even further, this is a perfect opportunity for Aaron Henry to go to that cover 2 coverage. Even though you see the defenders following to make sure that it looks like it's in man-to-man coverage, they go to cover 2 like they do.
4 wides, Major, great job of blocking there, and he finds Spencer. Elijah Spencer, they're going to mark him inside the 20 at the 19. That's a 1st down, gain of 13.
So they go to cover 2, and that's a really nice job of Spencer finding his way into the middle of the field right behind the dropping defensive end. A very nice job and a nice throw by Brosmer.
How about the composure of this young man, huh? Flushed from the pocket. Eyes always looking ahead. Now he gets rid of it. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. You think of Rourke, by example, the young man that transferred in from the MAC that's doing the job for Curt Cignetti. I think the other guy that's new, that's a grizzled veteran of the game and is making the most dramatic impact at this position in the Big Ten may be this kid right here.
Yeah, Brosmer is a seasoned veteran, and he's seen a lot, right? And so when you're Illinois and you do a lot of different things, you hope that you can get him confused just a bit. But a lot of times it's not going to be likely because he knows what he wants. And if he doesn't like it, he finds his way to his check down.
On 2nd and 10. Major running hard and stopped just shy of the 15-yard line. They'll give him 4. So here we are again, sitting on 3rd and 6. Dylan Rosiak making the stop, the linebacker, number 28. Got a little help there from Gabe Ackus as well. Boy, what a star player he is at that other linebacker spot.
He did such a nice job on that play of setting the edge. You hear me talk about it all the time. And when you set the edge the way he did, there's no real space for the runner to go. And that's why that's a short gain there.
Well, Minnesota, 47% on 3rd down overall this year. They just converted a 3rd and 12. Let's see what they do with half that needed on this play.
1-on-1 to the top of your screen.
And there's the out pattern to Spencer, and Elijah gets it down to the 5-yard line. Caleb Patterson with a stop. Move the chain. We're talking about a 1st and goal from there.
And Spencer's a senior, and you can see it in his route running. He's so poised. He doesn't rush into the out route. He understands that he has time. He freezes the defensive back, and it creates great separation for Brosmer to get him the ball outside.
Max Harbaugh, who is the new offensive coordinator for Minnesota, said that Brosmer he's got a relationship with him that's a partnership. Like, this dude makes suggestions to me in the middle of a game.
Yeah, he's a grown-up. He's a grown-up, and that's what you want from a senior at the quarterback position.
Backside pressure coming from Akers, and he has to get rid of it. 2nd and goal.
This is a heavy man-to-man area down here in the red zone, and Illinois goes to that man-to-man coverage, and they cover everybody. There is nowhere to go with this football for Brosmer, and he does a nice job of holding as long as he can, and then he gets outside, throws the ball away, and saves yardage.
Darius Taylor back in at setback. 2nd and goal. That's Bierman in motion. Taylor down to the 1. Akers making the stop. Matthew Bailey with some assistance there, the sophomore from Moline High School in Moline, Illinois.
Start to bring in extra offensive linemen. You know they're going to get behind the big fellas and get the ball to Darius Taylor.
Yep.
They bring in number 27, Jordan Newman, 5'10", 215 pounds. At the setback position, it's the Wildcat.
Taylor in the Wildcat at quarterback, flanked by Newman and Major. Taylor, Illinois stayed home. He stopped at the 2. Lost yardage on that play, about a half yard. They were prepared for that. That's excellent scouting, and PJ knows it.
A great job by Rosiak, number 28 in orange. He's a tackling machine. He does an outstanding job of being patient, waiting, finding his way as if he's a defensive running back and meeting Taylor in the hole.
Well, PJ, even though his team is 7 of 7 on 4th down, he decides, let's get the points.
Yeah, you got down here. You kind of stole this opportunity by getting the fumble, get points on the board, and be up.
Dragan Kasic with the field goal. And the Gophers get 3 off that turnover. In a game that will be about field position and running the ball. You got to run the ball in the Big Ten, no matter how good your QBs are. Last year, Illinois got the win against Minnesota, but Luke Altmyer got hurt, left the game in the 4th, meaning John Paddock. They call it the Paddock game here. He led a game-winning drive with a 46-yard touchdown pass to Isaiah Williams. 50 seconds left as Illinois won 27-26. Good to see that Luke Altmyer is back out there and ready to go. And there's Paddock, who's doing a little fundraising, doing a little working out, and pondering his future. You know, I'm thinking of maybe an acting career for him down the road. That's a nice-looking, strapping young man.
Yeah, do you remember the John Wick movie when he comes to the house, the officer says, you working again? He said, I might be. I asked him that in the building. I saw him in the building yesterday. I'm like, hey, you working again? He said, I wish.
Yeah. You know, he would be a great candidate for the UFL.
He would. A really talented player. And when he got his opportunity, even though he had all the legacy behind him here at Illinois, he delivered for this Illini football team.
He did. And another kick through the end zone for a touchback. And Illinois will start at the 25. But Altmyer coming back from a heck of a hit. And he was down on the field for quite a while. But good to see him back out there. He was sandwiched. And I was a little bit concerned about the way he fell on that head of his. And the good news for Illinois is he's back out there. Plus, the defense did the job and held the Gophers to 3.
Yeah, it's good to see that he's okay. I mean, they put him on top of his head like a breakdown.
They sure did. They did. Trips to the top of your screen. McCray is in the backfield. And he'll take it, and look at that convergence up front by Minnesota. And again, Justin Wally all over the place. A loss of a yard as he comes up for corner. These are just 2 well-coached teams in every aspect. Defensively, Wally just sneaking up.
Yeah, I mean, they see that it's a run, and they bring the corner. And, you know, they have a lot of variety in their single-high defense. Even though it's single-high, they have different variations of it where they can cloud those corners and put them in position to make plays like you're about to see right here.
Little bubble screen out to Franklin. And he's got the first down out past the 35. Hayden Gooseby, number 7, with the stop. He had tremendous blocking in front of him.
Yeah, specifically number 64, the center, Josh Cruz. He does an outstanding job of getting out front. Watch him in the middle of your screen, right there. That's the referee. But he's getting outside to make sure that he gets that corner out, and that's the block that springs number 4 in orange, the talented Zakhari Franklin.
3 wides this time. Altmyer streaking down the sidelines for Bryant. Well covered again by guess who? Justin Wally. Crowd wanted some interference. A lot of jousting going on, but that's allowed in the college game.
Yeah, they were a little handsy, both guys, but you can see that they're both doing it, right? They're both pulling, pushing each other, and Bryant actually kind of trips over his own feet, so I think that's a good no call there.
This is an Illini team when you think about it. They're an elite company. They are one of only 4 teams in the country with 3 different top 25 wins this year. The others, well, they're all in the top 10. McCray, ooh, what a defensive move by Minnesota. They are all over it. And tackles for losses are a real key to get Illinois behind the chains. That's Jack Henderson, number 20, the 5th-year player out of Southeastern Louisiana University. That's in Hammond, about 30 miles southeast of Baton Rouge.
That was such an impressive play by Jack Henderson, number 20. I mean, he's at the line of scrimmage, and he disengages as if he's a defensive tackle rather than a safety.
3rd down and 13. Pressure off the edge. Altmyer stepping up, slings it out to another one of its tight ends, Carson Goda. And he's going to be about 5 yards shy of the first down. But again, a healthy gain to help with the field position prospects, which I really suspect this could be that kind of game. As good as these defenses are, this could be a field position game throughout.
It's a really nice job of this Minnesota defense, and it started with that play from Jack Henderson, making sure that he pushes Illinois back and they can't get the first down on 3rd down.
Robertson to punt it away. And a beauty that rested inside the 5 last time. Fair catch being called again this time. That ball hit the defender at the 20, I think at the 23-yard line. Actually got him in the head. Number 25. I believe that was Jaheim Clark that made his way down there, and it got him in the noggin. Timeout. Every season has an inflection point, and for Minnesota, it was the loss to Michigan. They had a big bounce back, trapping the number 11 and really exposing the USC Trojans. And then the next week, they built momentum by beating the Bruins 27-21. Now, we're talking about a team that's won 3 in a row, toppling the Terps big time. Won that one going away. And listen, this is a coach that was getting some grief back in Minnesota early on in the year. Well, guess what? Those for sale signs that popped up in places around his yard, they're gone now. And they should be. One of the most respected coaches in college football. 8 years he spent there. That pass incomplete and really well defended. And man coverage by Xavier Scott. I'd say right now, his shadowing of Daniel Jackson's on target.
Yeah, and if we're keeping score, I say it's 1-1. These guys are really going after it. They're on the innermost wide receiver and cornerback. He's standing with great position. He stays on him, and he gets inside. And those are the catches that Daniel Jackson always makes, right? Those combat catches, guys all around him. But you can see Xavier Scott throwing up the X, 1-1.
One of the reasons Brosmer's been so successful is he's always had that wide receiver as his out pitch. And here's Darius Taylor, his out receiver is out as a running back, going for 12 more yards and a first down. Jaheim Clark again.
I spoke about it on the first drive, but here is again the opportunity to keep your shoulders square so that you can find those cutback lanes and get underneath the rush. An outstanding job by, yet again, a true sophomore who really understands how to run the football. It's so impressive because, like we talked about, he wasn't a running back until a senior high school, right? So he has all the receiver skills, but also the running back ability he's developed here at Minnesota.
That's Dylan Rosiek that's down on the field. We have a timeout. We'll return. Friday night on Fox, one of the college football's breakout stars, running back Caleb Johnson, leads the Iowa Hawkeyes into the Rose Bowl for a showdown against UCLA. It all kicks off Friday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox. Bruins playing a little better of late for Deshaun Foster. 3-0 here, Minnesota with the lead. And the ball on first down from their 38. Major. Talk about edge setting. There's another example of it. Great work by Ryan Mead, who just came into the game for the injured Dylan Rosiak. No gain. It'll be second down and 10. Mead has looked really good of late. Senior out of Brooklyn, New York.
And did an outstanding job on that play because he's being blocked, right? He's being blocked, and he almost causes a hold. The offensive lineman has to let him go, and then he can make a play on the running back.
Taylor back in the game. They bring in the extra tight ends again. Everything in tight. Brosmer in trouble and down. Boy, Aaron Henry has got to be pleased with what he's seeing from his defense. And boy, oh boy, what a story he is. We touched on him at the Nebraska game, that Friday night game in week 4. What a performance he had in the overtime. What he's doing with Xavier Scott right now on Daniel Jackson is yet another example of his promise as a coach.
Tim, it looks like man-to-man here, but they go safety over the top, and so Brosmer looks over there to try to get to his one-on-one option. It's not actually one-on-one. Outstanding job by Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator, of showing a picture and then giving the grown-up Brosmer something different.
3rd and 14. Brosmer's pass incomplete. Thrown in the direction of Elijah Spencer, but he had to unload because of the pressure that was coming his way. Much of it from Dennis Briggs, number 6, the defensive end, senior out of Kissimmee, Florida.
I really love the plan by Aaron Henry, but this is all Briggs, making sure that he throws a guy off to make a play on Brosmer. He's doing such a nice job, and this is Aaron Henry I'm speaking about, of showing one picture and then getting to another one. And even though Brosmer is a veteran, he's still having trouble understanding what's going on out there. He's got to get back to the sideline, get on the iPad to try to figure out what this Illini defense is trying to do to him.
Mark Crawford with the end-over-end punt. Hank Beatty will bring it back. Boot of 46 yards and an 8-yard return. And that's where the Illini will take over in a quickly played first quarter. As I said, both teams trying to establish the run. The one turnover led to the 3 points, and that's been it from a scoring standpoint so far. In a lot of ways, shaping up like your typical Big Ten matchup, and what could be what we like to say in the college game is a inflection point in your season. Minnesota streaking, the Illini trying to reset after a tough loss on the road against the #1 team in America. Will Valentine just into the game, totes it, and bolts ahead to the 32-yard line. I thought Henry had a great line in the aftermath of the Oregon game. He said, how many of you guys, this was on the plane headed back, how many of you guys have played or coached against the #1 team? And the only guys that raised their hands were Aaron and Brett Bielema, because they had played against #1s when they were at Wisconsin together. You got to take it for what it is and improve. That's what they're attempting to do today. This is Franklin coming out of the backfield with a easy reception, and he's got it very close to the line to make before being ushered out of bounds.
Take a look at the block that he gets from Pat Bryant coming back to make sure that safety can't get him, so he can get a few extra yards to make sure this is a short third down. And that's a really nice job because Pat Bryant is their guy, right? He's their go-to guy down the field. But to have him in position to make a block, pick that safety off, and allow Franklin to get a few more yards, that's very important here because you now put your big back in to try to get the first down.
Looking for their first conversion on third down, 0 for 2 so far. Right up the gut, and McCray's got it. 5-yard pickup. And we come to the end of the quarter, and what, as I said, was a quickly played, run-oriented first period of play.
And that's actually Jordan Anderson
Yep,
there,
Anderson,
Tim, at the
right.
fullback position. They go quick dive, which you're not expecting because it's just not a play that they run a whole bunch. A nice job by offensive coordinator Barry Lunny making sure that they give them something different to pick up that first down of the game.
Yeah, he usually is blocking, not running.
Oh, yeah.
But he managed to get it ahead for the first down. We'll be back. As we open the second quarter, that's Barry Lunny, the offensive coordinator of the Fighting Illini. One-time quarterback for Danny Ford at Arkansas in the mid-'90s. Also played some baseball, and I learned something from him yesterday. He was actually a color commentator for the Arkansas Radio Baseball Network back in the Norm DeBryant days in the 90s. All great quarterbacks at some point played a little baseball, and they never failed to learn something new whenever seeing Barry.
Yeah, after this play, you got to continue that story on how he did so well.
Yeah, he sure did. That pass against man coverage is dynamite to Pat Bryant. That story will have to wait. That time he beat Justin Wally mano-a-mano.
Yeah, hold that story, Tim, because we've got a go route outside. A nice job of getting to the toes and then getting outside. And then the combat catch, the ability, falling down, defender all over you to make that play. Unbelievable. A gain of 25 yards for the talented Pat Bryant.
Extra tight end there to Chip as Valentine gets it, and Khalil cuts inside that block. Forges ahead to about the 31-yard line, a gain of 3. That's Jackson Howard with the stop, number 1.
And, Tim, we got to just take one more look, right? This is poetry in motion. Watch him go up, a defender holding on, and that's all hands.
Oh, yeah.
That's not even with the body. Unbelievable. Pat Bryant has continued to develop and really become a star wide receiver in college football.
Senior out of Jacksonville, coming out of concussion protocol, and they are happy to have him. That was a big concern all week around here. Bielema was stopped everywhere, including the airport, about it. And Bryant coming the other way. A little sweep action going towards the boundary. He did get to practice all week. Brett kept it under wraps. Kerry Brown comes up from safety to make the stop. He dropped his wife off at the airport, who had to go back to be with her family, having lost her grandfather. And there's some people at the airport said, well, how's Bryant doing? Then he got home, and some people were working
in his lawn, right?
Yeah, working in the backyard. He came out. He had never met them, but they work there regularly. They said, Coach, is Bryant going to be able to go?
And you see why.
Yep. 3rd and short. Josh McCray, lone setback. And he'll tote it right up the gut. First down, just outside the 10. Kerry Brown, 14. The strong safety comes up to make the stop after a gain of 12.
Watch the left side of the offensive line, watch everybody down, and then watch McCray wind it back underneath. An outstanding job of pressing the whole front side and then finding that backside cutback. A nice job by the talented running back McCray.
And a season-high 78 yards against Purdue. And think back to the best games of his career have been against the Boilers.
And we talk so much on the Minnesota side about their talented wide receiver and their talented running back. How about these Illinois special positions doing what they're supposed to do?
Well, Altmaier thought better of it and got down quickly when he saw Danny Strigo, the 5th-year player out of Long Lake, Minnesota. He's had 5 or more tackles in 8 appearances, season-high 9 against Iowa.
Yeah, he does a nice job of squeezing, and then being outside to make sure that he controls the edge and he has the quarterback. That's his responsibility. He does it there, and a nice job by Altmaier to protect the football. Get what you can, get down.
2nd down and 11. They'll go trips with the help of the tight end, Bierman, who's now going in motion.
You got man-to-man coverage, so those corner routes on the inside are always good.
Valentine inside the 10. They'll mark him at the 9-yard line, sandwiched by Wally and Strigo.
This drive is kind of the paradigm of what Illinois wants their drives to look like, right? They want to be able to throw the ball and have explosive plays down the field, but they also want to establish the run game and be able to lean on defenses, get to those short yardage opportunities, and pick up first down. They're doing a nice job on this drive, but they have to finish it in the end zone.
3rd down and 7. Carson Goda now will check in as an extra tight end. McCray the setback. Keep an eye on Zachary Franklin down here, too, down at the bottom of your screen.
Altmaier's legs are important as well.
Yes, they are, as evidenced right here. Looking. Now he cuts it up to try to get as much as he can and is decked at the 7-yard line by Maverick Baranowski, who had the fumble recovery earlier to give Minnesota their points.
You'd have loved to finish this drive into the end zone, but a very nice job by Altmaier getting outside. He's looking. He's trying to find a guy. There's nobody there. Protect the ball, preserve points, allow your field goal kicker to come out and get you 3.
This will be a 25-yard try by David Alano. Alano, who's been very effective, 13 of 16 on the year, a long of 50 from the right hash. And we're tied at 3. Could be one of those games where first one into double digits wins.
Yes, sir.
Tough defense being played out here. Young folks having a great time here on Fan Appreciation and Military Appreciation Day here in Champaign-Urbana. And you know what? As long as I've been doing this, partner, this is the first game I have ever called.
What?
In Memorial Stadium in football. Now, right next door at State Farm
There's no
Arena.
chance. There's no chance that's true.
I did Lou Henson's games back in 85 and 86. I mean, I'm talking Steve Bardo and Kendall Gill era. Okay,
You're telling me
there.
the game with Red Grange, you weren't there?
I was not here for the Red Grange
Oh,
game.
my goodness. That's crazy.
But I know people who have artifacts from.
Well, I'll give you a little
game.
history. You see the 50-yard line down there? it's traced in orange.
Yeah.
That's for Dick Butkus.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I learned that because I have done a game here.
By the way, I was pumped when I got by that statue for the pic you took.
I took a great
yesterday.
picture of you.
You did?
You tried to take it, but you had a fingerprint on your camera, and it was terrible. And I told you, hand me that so I can clean off the camera and get you a good photograph.
Yeah, I love the alcohol swabs you put on it. We got a marker down. Your favorite play happens. The ball goes out of the field.
Kick out of bounds. Kick your team. By rule, the ball will be placed in North Carolina. First down.
And in a game like this, field position, an extra
So
10
important.
is such a big deal.
Yeah, I don't understand it. You know, you got things that kind of bother you, and everybody thinks, well, it's not that big of a deal. That bothers me, but I digress. We'll just continue to talk about the football game. And the one thing you have to know is number 9, Daniel Jackson. He has 0 catches here, and we're in the second quarter. Last week, 9 catches, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns versus Maryland. So they're going to have to find a way to get him going. He's at the bottom of your screen to start this drive.
Well, Xavier Scott has done exactly what Aaron Henry, his boss and defensive coordinator, prescribed for him to do.
Yep.
Darius Taylor burrows ahead. He stopped just shy of the 40. So they'll give him 4, 2nd and 6. James Kreutz, number 41, at linebacker, coming up to make the tackle. Guys like him and Matthew Bailey, Ryan Mead, guys that have been backups at linebackers, safety, and nickel, they've meant a lot to Aaron's defense.
Mm-hmm.
You remember what they did in the late stages of that game with Nebraska. They made him go back 30 yards in the overtime period. This pass is incomplete again, trying to get it into Jackson, but he was well shadowed by number 14 in orange again.
I mean, just take a look at the technique from Xavier Scott. He does an outstanding job of staying square. He's not threatened deep, and he stays, gets hands on, and then he goes to make a play at the catch point. And we're keeping score here, right, Tim? It's 2-1 Xavier Scott right now.
Minnesota 2 out of 5 on 3rd downs. 3rd and 6 here. And the game within the game continues between number 9 in white and 14 in orange. Little outlet to Taylor out of the backfield, and he powers ahead for a first down. To the 46. Scott comes up after giving up his coverage of Daniel Jackson to make the tackle.
Yeah, and this is the defense for Illinois going into cover 2. Scott is the flat defender. He follows 9 for a second, and then he tries to go back and make the play on the running back, Taylor. And so it's so impressive to watch Brosmer get through his reads and understand because of the structure of the defense, there are certain throws he's just going to have to pick up the first down. He gets to the throw that he wants there with Taylor, and it's a first down.
They're moving Jackson around now as best they can. And this pass across, caught right in the seam by Jamison Gears, number 86, the backup tight end. 13 yards, move the chains.
Eyes there, right, coming off, eyes right down the middle, finding his tight end. That's something that he works with his quarterback coach, Quincy Avery, all the time, having his feet and eyes working together, finding the appropriate throw.
This time, back shoulder throw to Jackson. And that's a nice one right in front of Scott. 9-yard gain on first down.
This time, Xavier Scott does feel the speed, right? He feels that he's threatened, and Jackson steps on his toes and catches the curl route.
And they go tempo here, moving as quickly as they can. Got one to play with here, and Brosmer lets it fly, incomplete for Jackson again. I'm telling you, Xavier is he's gonna be feeling it, maybe spending some time in the hot tub after this one's over, because he's going to get a workout shadowing number 9 all afternoon.
I mean, talking to defensive coordinator Aaron Henry and defensive backs coach Corey Parker, they were excited for this opportunity for Xavier Scott. They believe he is a talented defensive back and a pro, and he's ready to go to the next level, and you have to play this way against guys like that if you want to prove that.
Taylor. And Darius gets it down to the 25. Inside the 25 at the 24. Recruits the stop, a gain of 8. Well, by the way, Parker, your old high school coach.
Yeah. He calls himself just an old high school coach, right? But he's done an outstanding job with the defensive back position going back to high school, on to Toledo, and also here at Illinois.
Alex Bray was involved in that play, number 11, and he's down on the field, the injured Illini player. And looks like he's going to be able to get himself off the field under most of his own power. Well, Taylor has 7 carries for 41 yards and 3 receptions for 17. And Corey is he's a special guy. I remember him as a player, and as I remember so many of your coaches.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's a special human, a special talent. You can see there, Kamal Hayden drafted to the NFL. Quinyon Mitchell turns him into a first-rounder at Toledo a year ago, and now you've got Xavier Scott, a guy who they're trusting against one of the better wide receivers in the country, Daniel Jackson, to go one-on-one coverage for the majority of the game. You see him chasing across the formation there.
Yeah, and a marker down.
Ball start. Offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Callerup, the tight end, moved a little prematurely towards the line of scrimmage. Can happen from time to time. By the way, one day when they do that old show, This Is Your Life, which was before your time, I'll know exactly who the guys are that are going to tell me all about you and your adolescence. They're all coaches today, and they were once coaching you in either Pop Warner or high school.
Yeah. All those coaches, they love you, man. I just don't know why.
1st and 15. Taylor, wide open. Darius Taylor, touchdown. They may want to look at this, but he got in. Great stiff arm here.
Yeah, nice job of finishing, and I think he did get in.
Yeah, touchdown.
I think the laces of the ball might have crossed just over the white before that right knee goes to the ground, and that is an outstanding job by Taylor, but it's the guys up front, and specifically the center, number 65, Greg Johnson. I cannot wait to show you what he was able to do on that play to make that possible.
29 yards. And by the way, very nice move to get on with it. No reason to review that. Brian Brown, our replay official, saw what we did. DT delivering it from Minnesota. Well, 8 plays, 65 yards, just 3:13 off the clock, and we noticed a little something on this touchdown.
Yeah, you got a deuce block, right, where they're going to double team and then cut off at the second level, and the cutoff guy is Greg Johnson, number 65, and at first glance, it looks like a great pancake block, but you can see right there, he's got his hand on the back number. That is a hold, but since he got away with it, he's got himself a pancake and a touchdown. for his running back.
That's the linebacker Kreutz, 41 that he.
Yeah, I'm like, Kreutz is not a guy that just gets pancaked regularly. Well, right. It's because he's being bear hugged.
Yeah.
And the referees missed that one. But that's a part of the football game. That's what happens from time to time. You don't have the angle to quite see. That right hand is kind of hidden. He gets him to the ground, and it's a touchdown for Darius Taylor.
Kanari Wilshire is back deep awaiting the kick. Minnesota now with a 10-3 lead. And a quick fair catch called on what was a directional kick to Hank Beatty. Let's go down to Josh Sims.
Well, we know Luke Altmyer had a tough game last week. 3 interceptions on the season, 2 of them last week. Well, his head coach, Brett Bielema, not worried about him. He said, look, the ones that can recognize and adjust post-game to what makes them better for the next week are truly the great ones. He said, Luke possesses that. We're sure of that this year. Last year, we weren't sure about it, but he showed a great deal of growth this season, guys.
Yeah, he's got such poise and came over from Ole Miss, as everyone here knows. It's been highly documented. But, you know, you think about finally being a regular starter, you know, having that chance, that's what the Illini have given him the opportunity to do. And for a kid as dynamite as he is, you think about how hard it is to be a starting quarterback, to be given that QB1 designation. He's trying to make the most of it here, and he's done a very good job. One of the reasons they're still ranked. Lawfery out of the backfield. That is very close to and will be enough for a first down. You can move the chains on that one.
Great recognition by Luke Altmyer. He sees Coy Parrish, the safety, down in the box, and he sees that he flies to the middle. So what does he know? He knows he has man-to-man coverage, the running back versus the linebacker. A natural pick happens, and he gets a first down.
Again, a quick out to Pat Bryant, and another outstanding pickup on first down of 5. And that's exactly what Illinois wants to accomplish. These two teams, when you think about it, they're mirror images of one another in terms of what they want to accomplish from an offensive standpoint. 3 receptions for Bryant so far for 49 yards. Lawfery remains the setback.
Minnesota's showing the 2 shell, right? They're showing 2 shell, but a lot of times they go back to single high, but it doesn't always have to be man. It could be cover 3.
Lawfery. And that one was stuffed right from the start. Devin Williams, number 9, and Devin Eastern, a pair of Devins, your favorites.
Yeah, I just really like the name, Tim. I mean, it just seems like right at birth, their parents knew greatness was upon them, and they said, hey, perfect name. I got it. Devin. Very good. Very good.
3rd down and 4. Charismatic P.J. Fleck. Altmyer with 4 in the pass pattern, and this one's caught by Beatty, who's been getting a lot of playing time of late. That's a 10-yard gain, piercing Minnesota territory at the 49.
Yeah, Tim, he had 38 snaps, a season high a week ago, and he's a guy that has just earned his keep. He's earned the ability to be trusted by Altmyer and earned the ability for Barry Lundy, the offensive coordinator, to make sure that he gets him in position to catch footballs, and you can see there a first down pickup.
Lawfery, the lone setback, as Altmyer goes under center this time. Look out, pressure from the backside from Anthony Smith. And another sack, second of the day, of Altmyer, the redshirt sophomore from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania.
You want to know what's even more impressive about this, Tim? They tried to double team him. He's right in front of these 2 guys right here. They try to double him. They bring a guy over. Nope. Can't get to him. He gets to Altmyer. Again, a nice job by Altmyer to protect the football, but a very good job by Zero and White to get to the quarterback.
3rd sack of the season for Anthony Smith, who, along with Jaw Joyner, are tremendous pass rushers off that edge. Out of the shotgun. 2nd and 18. That's a big league throw right there to Zachary Franklin. More than compensating for that loss. And now they've got, after 15 yards, a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 3.
Hey, Tim, we talked about a song they were playing in the stadium that the circus always plays, where here's a circus route where the receiver, like I talked about earlier, dives inside, gets vertical, and some teams call it a bench route, but it creates kind of a C, right? The letter C, and a great job of throwing that ball on the outside where you can catch, get out of bounds, set up this 3rd and short.
9 out of 12 now for Altmyer for 111 yards. McCray picking them up, putting them down, touchdown.
I mean, there's a lot of talent on this defense for Minnesota, and they're in position to make the play, but you got one missed tackle. You got another one, and the last one is the talented freshman, Coy Parrish, who comes in with a bad fit, and it leaves an opportunity for the balance of McCray to be on full display for a touchdown.
Longest rushing touchdown play. The previous high was 37. That goes for 42. Big Josh out of Enterprise, Alabama. Running big, running stout. And the Illini have tied it up at 10.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Ohio State and Penn State go head-to-head in a huge top 5 matchup. Miami tries to improve to 9-0. And the first playoff rankings are just days away. Tim and Devin, you guys are certainly in my top 12. Maybe even 10. See you at the half.
We in the playoffs, baby.
Yeah, postseason.
We making it to the postseason. Most important.
Thanks, Sarge. We look forward to you guys at halftime.
Wait. Hold on now, because if we're 12, but there's a lower-seeded group of 5 team, they might take that 12th spot and push us to 13.
That will not happen.
We need to be 11.
Let's go back to the touchdown and missed opportunities here.
Yeah, I mean, by 3 different guys, you're going to see that this is not blocked well, right? They've got guys in position to go here, underneath right there. You got 3 guys that can possibly make this play, and they all miss. First, it's Finesse, Lucas, and then second, it's Wally, and then the talented freshman, Coy Parrish, comes in, and he just misses his fit. But how about the run by McCray? Like I said, it's not blocked well, but somehow talented players find a way to make big plays, and he does it right there.
Well, we touched on this Illinois team that only 3 other teams have wins against top 3 competition in college football, 4 in total. The other 3 teams, by the way, number 6 Texas, number 7 Tennessee, and number 8 Notre Dame. So 3 top 25 wins. That's not many teams have that other than Illinois, and those are the other 3. Darius Taylor takes that one in for 4 yards. It'll be second down and 6.
They played a decent amount of man for Illinois on defense, but on that play they go to zone, and what zone allows you to do, it allows you to get eyes on the running back. You see that the quarterback, Brosmer, is dropping back. He's getting through his reads. He's getting to the running back. And if you keep eyes on him, there will be no picks. You'll be able to find him, get him to the ground, and set up this second and 6.
Taylor adjusts himself in the backfield. Look out for him on a little out route, little safety valve maneuver, and that's why they love him so much. What a strength that is as a quarterback to know you've got him to pick you up with yards after catch. Ryan Mead with the tackle after a gain of 14.
Yeah, they go zone again, and they do have eyes on him. But the guy that's supposed to have eyes, Gabe Akis, right? He's more of a rusher. He's not a big-time guy that drops in the covers, but he drops in the covers there. He goes to go cover a wide receiver, and it allows for Darius Taylor to be outside for a first down.
Yeah, that's a linebacker known more as a thumper.
Oh, yeah, he's an edge rusher if there ever was one.
Marcus Major with a major gain inside the 50 to the 47. And again, it's Ryan Mead running him down, number 34 in orange.
You know, we talked about how the touchdown for Illinois wasn't well blocked. Well, this is as good as you can block it right here. Take a look at the offensive line of Minnesota just imposing their will on this Illini defense. And as we've come to the 2-minute timeout, we get a chance to see if that offensive line will continue to impose his will when we get back.
Tomorrow, another big NFL doubleheader on Fox. It's first, it's Dak and the Cowboys against the Falcons or other regional action. Then America's Game of the Week, Jared Goff and the Lions against Jordan Love and the Packers or the Rams Seahawks.
Hey, Tim, who would you say is the team that's playing the best football in the NFL?
I'd have to say the guys in the Motor City, Detroit.
Detroit! Detroit Lions. That's what I'm talking
Indeed.
about.
Check your local listings for the games in your area tomorrow on Fox. Plenty of time for Brosmer, and it's caught. That's Elijah Spencer. You know, he quietly goes about his business as the second option to Jackson, and today he's going to play a key role. Caleb Patterson with that stop. A number of targets for number 11 of Minnesota so far today.
And that's the toughest route to cover in man-to-man coverage, that deep over where you can just essentially run away from the defensive back, flatten it off. Nice throw by Brosmer.
20 yards on that reception. Look at those tight ends out there. Callerup, some help from Bierman, both on the right side, and they run the opposite way. What a cutback and a huge pop at the point of attack as Taylor takes it ahead for 5. Matthew Bailey, he loves to stick his head in there, that safety. I'm not sure he didn't take the brunt of this hit.
Yeah, this is a collision for the ages. I mean, look at this. Pop! Right? He gives it to him, but Taylor's so sturdy, right? Such great lower body strength. And it's like an old Oklahoma drill.
Yeah.
Meet you in the hole, me versus you. Me and you, Tim. Let's do it right now.
Back in the old Roland Sales days.
Did you ignore me?
Are we
going to do it?
No, we're not going to do that.
Okay, cool, cool.
No. I'm just the commentator here, okay? No pads on me.
Yeah.
Taylor's the setback. Little play fake. Look out. Brosmer looking long. Now he has to tuck it and run as the pressure was coming off the edge. Jeremiah Warren, 55, does make the stop as Brosmer decided to get as much out of that as he could on his own.
I mean, this is so good by Illinois. You got a middle safety right here, right? But they're going to have a over route, and they're going to pass it off, right? So it looks like Jackson is going to be open, but they pass it off, pick up the other over route, and so now Brosmer is stuck with the football. There's nowhere to go with it. Outstanding job by Aaron Henry and this defensive staff.
3rd down and 5, and a timeout taken by Minnesota.
Man, just the variety in their man defense, right? Everybody says, you know, they play man, it's kind of innovative. They chase with motion, and then they go play zone. But then you have that, where it's man-to-man coverage on a deep over. You get burned by it earlier in the game or earlier in this drive, and then you send the guy across the field to the safety, picks him up. The quarterback has to eat it.
There's Aaron. What a wonderful guy he is.
Yeah.
Tremendous story, too, how he made it.
Absolutely. Great football mind, but an even better person, in my opinion.
No question. Fans feel it. They know this is an important play.
The matchup is to the top of your screen.
And it looks like we've got timeout, perhaps, I think.
Illinois, their first of the half.
Yeah.
Will also be 30 seconds in length.
Yeah, they did not like that setup, and wisely got a timeout, knowing, and you see that's an upset head coach. Bielema not at all pleased with the granting of that timeout. Timeout was given, yes, but it came late. Yep. Yeah, I think he was thinking the play clock was down before the timeout was taken. He's asking him to look at that clock right now.
And Tim, as they come out for this 3rd down and 5, Daniel Jackson, 5 targets, only 1 catch and 9 yards. That's the matchup for the game. Xavier Scott versus Daniel Jackson. But another opportunity here for Brosmer. If they get man-to-man coverage, remember, the running back is alive. Right, so if he gets to his reads, he doesn't like it. If he gets it to his running back quickly, it's just Darius Taylor, a talented running back, turning into a running back with the football in the pass game.
He felt like that there should have been a flag, and finally he decided, I don't like what I see here formation-wise, and this is our supposition because obviously we don't have microphones down there, but he's really given it to Larry Smith, our white hat, our referee today.
There is no foul for delay of game. Illinois will get their timeout back as the head coach did not count a timeout.
Oh, well, there's a democracy down there. So the play clock was going down, so he didn't give him a timeout. But they're going to give them the timeout back.
At the top of your screen, there's the matchup right there.
They need 5 to keep it alive. Look out, in traffic. That was a dangerous pass. It could have been picked, thrown in the neighborhood of Jamison Gears, 86, and it'll be 4th down. Well, that was a weird set of circumstances where you had an inadvertent non-whistle as the play clock wound down.
Yeah, how about Coleman doing a nice job of getting inside, knowing that Brosmer's not a guy that's going to escape the pocket a bunch, and because of that pressure, he can't get to the running back. He had Taylor in the pass pattern open, but he can't get to him because of the pressure up the middle by Coleman.
Well, those 5 yards meant a lot. The 5 yards that he didn't have to give up, because this is now a 45-yard field goal for Kasich as opposed to 50. Well, he's got a lot of leg on it and puts it through. And this could be a game where every opportunity to score any points whatsoever is crucial. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall between Larry Smith and Brett Bielema during that conversation.
Yeah, it was not a polite conversation. It was very, and Bielema was giving it to him, but Larry Smith was giving it right back now.
By the way, Larry Smith is a principal of an all-girls middle school.
Wow.
So he's got thick enough skin to handle just about anything Brett Bielema.
He is good to go. Brett Bielema cannot pierce his skin at all. He's got that armadillo skin.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But I don't know that I've ever seen that in a game that I've had.
Man, imagine that, being a principal at an all-girls school. That is rough.
Yep. You know, Terry went to an all-girls school back in the day.
Your wife? Yeah. Oh, she's a saint.
St. Vincent's Academy in my hometown.
Are you sure you're not talking about Terry, our Terry up here?
No, our Terry.
Oh, your Terry. not Terry Richardson. Terry Richardson up here did not go to an all-girls school.
Terry Glow Brando. That's who I'm talking about. She wore those plaid skirts back in the day. Beatty will take a fair catch, and they'll bring it out to the 25 of the touchback. And we only have 19 seconds left. I'll be interested to see if Bielema decides to air this out at all. Probably not. But
yeah, I mean, he's got 3 timeouts left. But I don't think you put the ball in harm's way. You just never know what happens. I personally would take a knee, get in the half, understanding that you really found your groove. You just got to continue it in the second half.
Remember now, he argued to get that timeout back, and he did. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You're right about that. But for me, I would take a knee.
Right.
Get out.
Remember, Minnesota won the toss, deferred, so Illinois does receive to open the second half. So, to your point, you run it, see what you get, and then decide, right? And he got a lot of yards here.
I just don't understand Minnesota just opening up the middle that way, right? Because that's the normal thing you do. You find and see what you get on a run play, and they allow them to get a decent amount of yards.
Yeah.
I mean, they just open up the door. There's nobody there.
And now, because you get a healthy gain of 14, and you got the ball out to almost the 40, and that full complement of timeouts means that you can go down and maybe try to get 3 yourself.
And Tim, this is the thing. This is why Brett Bielema has that nice offense with the fireplace dividing it. Right? That's why I don't have that kind of offense, because I want to take a knee. He goes with the run play. He understands that Minnesota plays a defense that they probably shouldn't play, look like Hail Mary defense, and they pick up a decent amount of yards, and not a lot of time goes off the clock. Great job. He preserves 1 timeout, so now he has 2 left.
Yeah, you spend all your money on those designer suits. He gets to wear, workout material all the time.
Yeah, he does get free clothes.
1st and 10, Altmaier goes for the out route. It's caught by Colin Dixon, 17. Just 4 yards, but they do stop the clock with 10 seconds left, and I suppose you could get at least 2 plays out of the time you have remaining.
Of course, with 2 timeouts, and the one thing that's really cool about this is the middle of the field is not off limits, right? You can throw this ball into the middle of the field if Minnesota leaves it vacant to pick up the yards you need to try to get a field goal.
Barry Lunney running that offense, trying to remain as aggressive as he can. And the playbook is wide open here. Altmaier zips it out there, and it is caught at the 45.
Timeout immediately.
Pat Bryant. By the way, if you're thinking about they're going to go again, do we have a... Thought we may have had an injury. We do. Yes, Bryant got up gimpy, So that's what we were waiting on. They got the timeout. If you're thinking about the kicker, Alano, he does have a 50-yarder. Let's see where he gets hurt here. He got sandwiched. Ooh, yeah, that hurts. Especially coming off what he went through this past week just to get cleared for today's game. And by the way, the kickoff man, Michalski, 27, he has a 59-yarder. So he's hit one from 59, and he could be the option if they want to try for 3. But again, only 5 seconds remain. Do you dare run a play?
I think you absolutely can. But you have to know your veteran quarterback the conversation has to be had in the huddle right now. Hey, we've only got 5 seconds. There can be no runaround. You can't take any yards away, right? This is already going to be a fairly long field goal. Yep. Get the ball out quickly. If there's nothing there, dirt it so we can call timeout. And if we want to, we can try that long field goal.
Well, from here, it would be 63 yards. From here, it would be a 63-yarder. By the way, your Detroit Lions were on the receiving end of a 63-yarder from Tom Dempsey. Out of the hold of Joe Scarpetti.
What's that all about?
Back in the day.
Why are we doing that?
Just saying. Let's see what they do here. 5 seconds left. They do go quick out, and it's right there, and he scurries out of bounds, does Beatty.
There you go.
So they're going to have about, let's see, 50. They're going to have to set this up at about the 47. So it'll be about 57, maybe 58 yards. 55, perhaps. No, 57. Oh, they're backing it up even further. Hang on. 55. This will be a 55-yarder, which is well in the range of Michalski. Original walk-on. As we mentioned, he's hit one from 59. This from the right hash. Ethan Michalski. His second try of the year. Look out. Just a little outside, as we might say in baseball from time to time, but plenty of leg.
Man, you're absolutely right. He had plenty of leg on this one and just pushes it a bit outside.
Yeah.
But that's good to know. You know you got a guy that can get it down there. But he's just a little outside, a little bit on the navigation system.
He may have another one at the end of the game. You never know.
Oh, yeah, he's got a shot for sure. And aside from the missed field goal, that was about as good as a final drive you can have for Illinois. A lot of momentum going into half. And when we come back, it's going to be a good one, Tim.
Mike Hill, Emmanuel Acho, Coach Pete, State Farm halftime. How do you do?
That close from a tie game at the half there in Champaign. What do they call this? A rock fight. Welcome inside the State Farm halftime show. Inside our LA studios, it is Mike Hill, Chris Peterson, and Emmanuel Acho. Illinois, the offense wasn't showing much life until the end of that first half right there.
Yeah, and I think that Minnesota dodged a bullet there, not stopping that quick out, for that field goal right there. But I think this game's going to come down to explosive plays. We didn't see a whole lot of them. Illinois has a slight advantage, 6 explosives to Minnesota's 4. And we see one right here by Josh McCray on third down. You see this so often. Everybody packed in there, creases the defense. There's no second-level defense, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's really interesting how Illinois is responding here after having a really hard loss last week in Autzen Stadium against the Ducks, the #1 team in the country. And Minnesota has a lot of good momentum, winning the last 3 games. And so this is a really good, competitive Big Ten football game. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the second half here.
Competitive, evenly matched. We'll see what happens in the second half coming up momentarily. Meanwhile, a huge top 5 showdown in Happy Valley today. Can third-ranked Penn State in its losing streak, this long 7-game losing streak against #4 Ohio State, can they finally get it done? And Miami, it is undefeated, and Cam Ward has his eyes on the Heisman to show you if the Hurricanes star quarterback could add to his resume. But Duke giving them all kind of issues this afternoon.
Welcome back to the State Farm FS1 College Football Halftime Show. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Chris Peterson, Emmanuel Acho, Mike Hill back at the half. Hey, coming into today, Ohio State had won 7 straight against Penn State. Today, the 2 programs met in a huge top 5 matchup at Happy Valley. Big noon kickoff game on Fox. Penn State trying to turn the tide. Will Howard, the Ohio State quarterback, Pennsylvania native, mistake here in their first drive.
I mean, no doubt about it. Great job by Penn State right there. A small disguise in the defense, but the DB's eyes are on Howard the whole way. Pick 6. Those are the type of plays Penn State needs if they want to pull off this win.
Zion Tracy giving them a 10-0 lead, but back comes Howard. Back comes Ohio State's offense. Chip Kelly's in his bag early on.
He's been in his bag the entirety of the season. Coach, my former head coach with the Philadelphia Eagles, Chip Kelly, is a brilliant offensive mind.
Emeka Egbuka right there, 25 yards. Then Brandon Ennis, 21-yard touchdown. And Buckeyes storm back. They're up 14-10, but turnover's the issue here, Coach. Howard keeping it.
Crushing. They got points. You're good. You're not good.
Yeah.
That's game-changing right there.
Make it make sense, Coach.
Through the back of the end zone. Penn State is now actually going down the field. Could take the lead here second quarter. Late in that one, Ohio State up 14-10. Duke undefeated Miami. Cam Ward. Can he strike the pose this year? Cam McCormick.
He definitely going to strike the travel agency trip to the Heisman. We'll see if he can win it all.
McCormick, the 9-year senior right there. Malik Murphy, Samir Hagens. Duke coming back, though. Remember, this is a revenge game because
yes, sir. Manny Diaz spent a couple seasons in Miami until he got out of there, and now his first season at Duke, they're doing a really good job in high part through that quarterback Malik Murphy.
They run back from a 14-0 deficit to take a 21-17 lead there. Murphy to Peyton Jones right now, and Duke on top. Number 19, Ole Miss, Arkansas. It's Taylor Green dropping back. Oh, fumbles. Jared Ivey's on it.
Seeing all these big plays in the red zone one way or another. Game-changing, Nacho.
Yes, sir.
Jackson Dart got some stuff because he went trick-or-treating.
Well,
he's in his bag on this one, though.
I don't think he got worn out from trick-or-treating because he's playing pretty good.
That's some good candy right there. Jordan Watkins, 62-yard touchdown. Ole Miss up 21-3, and then Dart. Watkins again. Oh, scary what he can do with his arm.
Yeah, that ball comes out of his hand real nice.
Ole Miss up 28-3. So they're up big. Ohio State should be up bigger now on Penn State, 14-10. But Will Howard's mistakes, he's got good plays, bad plays costing him in this game
I'll tell you what, I think we're seeing the fruits of the best pickup in the transfer portal in the offseason. And it's not Will Howard, it's Chip Kelly. Like we alluded earlier, I mean, they got these guys dialed on offense. They really do. They're doing a great job. Will Howard, I mean, he's doing some really good things, but he's had 3 critical plays. This one being right here, I mean, he's going to score or be out at the 1, and the ball comes out, Acho. That's just, I mean, on offense, red zone turnovers are like the worst thing that can possibly happen because you're just taking points off the board. And on defense, it's the best thing because now it is such a humongous momentum swing. So it's not only points off the board, just the momentum that it creates, and they are game-changing plays.
21 points.
21
points. Yep. That's what Will Howard, the quarterback for Ohio State, has left on the board. He throws an interception for a touchdown. That's a 7-point swing. And then after picking up a 3rd and 11, well, you'll see here the interception for a touchdown. So there's 7 points for the viewers at home. That's 7 points on Will Howard. After a 3rd and 11 pickup, the very next play, it's another 7 points. Ooh. So that's 14 points on the board. And then, as Coach just alluded to, there's a fumble going into the end zone. 21 points. We said it last week, viewers at home, when Ohio State barely beat Nebraska. Ohio State's coaches are better, but their players are not playing better. All of Ohio State's touchdowns, wide open. Scheme. Eventually, these Ohio State players have to go out there and make the plays.
And if you're Penn State, you got to be breathing a sigh of relief right now. I mean, because the mentality that you have, you were up 10-0, and now you're down 14-10, but Will Howard and the guys are keeping you in the game.
And I think Ohio State probably came into this game on their heels a little bit with the momentum. Everything's Penn State. But if you're Ohio State going, we got these guys. We've actually played not very well the first half. We've given them 3 we had 3 touchdowns.
Ohio State should be winning this game by anywhere from 17 to 21 points, and they are not. Penn State inevitably could be taking a lead after a possession. So Penn State's in a great position. Ohio State, you have to find a way to put this game away.
A big review going on right now. Penn State inside the red zone. We'll show you that momentarily. Meanwhile, the first playoff rankings come out on Tuesday. It's another big day on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
What's happening on Tuesday? Hey, this is a good thing. We'll tell you why the committee's initial view of Notre Dame could impact everything. Darius Taylor trying to make an impact right now for Minnesota. His team's up 13-10. Taylor with 75 yards at the half.
High speed goes zoom, zoom, zoom. Walking away from me.
Welcome back to the State Farm FS1 College Football Halftime Show. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Update from Happy Valley after an Ohio State turnover. Penn State driving, could take the lead, but Drew Aller, picked in the end zone right there. And is at the half, Ohio State on top. Ruled the interception. They reviewed, and it's all the interception. Ohio State up 14-10 at the half over Penn State. Meanwhile, Vandy, a win away from being bowl eligible, guys.
This might be my favorite team this year. I love these guys.
It has to be.
Pavia, the A.J. Newport. Auburn just scored a touchdown. It's now tied at 7. Last night, number 15, Boise State, San Diego State, Ashton Jeanty, Heisman candidate, nation's leading rusher, shut down the first half, but the second half he came out with a vengeance, Coach.
He really did. And I'm telling you, if you give this guy a crease, he's going to make you pay. He hasn't had much of a crease, and he's still running for well over 100 yards every game.
149, 2 touchdowns in this one. Boise State wins at 56-24. Be interesting to see where Boise State is in the first college football rankings, which comes out on Tuesday. If they're in the top 12, it should be in the top 12. But what are you most curious to see when it does come out on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm not that excited by this first poll.
Why not, Coach?
I mean, I just know how good football is in the month of November and how so many things change. So I'm kind of like, yeah. But one thing that I am curious about is where they rank Notre Dame. So right now, Notre Dame's 8. They got 1 loss. They have the best win of the season against Texas A&M. They probably got the worst loss against Northern Illinois. They only have, in terms of teams that are doing something, Army, and then SC as the last game. If they don't get ranked high enough and they lose one more game, say to SC, which I think is that could happen.
Yeah.
Will they take a 2-loss Notre Dame team into the playoffs?
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious, how high they rank this.
Yeah.
For me, it's simple. Will a 3-loss SEC team get in over a 2-loss Big 12 team? You look at a team like Kansas State, they have 1 loss. They could accrue another loss in a Big 12 championship game. Iowa State has no losses, but they could lose to Kansas State. They could lose in the Big 12 championship game. Or Colorado, currently sitting with 2 losses. Coach and I were talking about it off camera. Colorado could win out. They're already in the top 25. What happens if Colorado wins out, doesn't play in the Big 12 championship game, but only finishes the season with 2 losses, not having had lost a game in the last 8 weeks or so? Will you take a 3-loss Alabama, a 3-loss LSU? Alabama, LSU both have 2 losses, haven't yet played. Or will you take the 2-loss Big 12 team?
Wow, it'd be interesting.
One more wild card here.
Yes, sir.
What if Wazoo runs the table, who Washington State only has 1 loss, to maybe an undefeated Boise State, who Boise State's lost 1 game to the number 1 ranked team in the country. And if Wazoo wins out, are you leaving them out that they've lost 1 game to maybe an undefeated Boise State team?
I am. I couldn't name enough mascots on these teams.
Come on.
Washington State's not in the conference.
Don't hate on them.
I'm leaving them out.
Division that can't win the conference. A lot of interesting choices on Tuesday, to say the least. Josh McCray, late touchdown run for Illinois. They're down by 3, second half coming up.
High speed goes zoom, 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 zoom. My feet go boom, boom, boom. Walking away from you. Snuck our forks to the shore and drank the bone dry.
Our first half check-in, sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Pretty evenly matched, wouldn't you say? In every aspect. A scoring opportunity even at the end of possibly tied at a baker's dozen. We welcome you back to Memorial Stadium in Champaign-Urbana.
I think that the people listening are also in good hands.
They are.
They're in good hands with
They
you.
are. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ready? Here we go. Tell me what's happened with the coverage, the game within the game.
Yeah, I mean, it is what we thought it would be, the Xavier Scott versus Daniel Jackson matchup. And right now, by my count, I've got it 3-2 Xavier Scott. But you have to see, will Minnesota make it a point here in their first drive to get the ball to Daniel Jackson, who only has the 1 catch right now, and the leading receiver for Minnesota, as we thought he would catch a lot of footballs, is the running back, the true sophomore, Darius Taylor. He's done a really nice job outside the backfield. He's got 5 catches, 35 yards on 5 targets. So It's 100% when they throw him the football. Obviously, lean into that, but you have to find a way to get the talented number 9 in white, Daniel Jackson, going.
Elijah Spencer, the second option at wide receiver, has 3 targets. He may actually wind up being the key today. Here's Parrish on the run. Corey Wonder is ahead to about the 27-yard line, and that's where Minnesota takes over. Let's go down to Josh Sims.
Well, P.J. Fleck told me coming out of the locker room, the key for them on defense is to do a better job of tackling. He said we got some young guys that just aren't following their fundamentals. And then on the offensive side of the ball, he said we got to do a better job of staying ahead of the chains. When I asked him about Daniel Jackson, he said, yes, I know he's only got that 1 catch. We got to get him more involved. We only had a limited amount of possessions in that first half. Let's see how things play out in the second half, guys.
It'll be interesting to see if Harbaugh can find a way to get him freed up.
Yeah, Tim, you like how, P.J. Fleck and I are kind of on the same page.
Yeah.
Me, P.J. Fleck, Josh Sims. We're doing a good job here.
1st and 10. Taylor's in the backfield. And that's Brockington in motion. And Brockington's going to get a little bubble screen. Jackson, I should say. And right away, just get him the ball any way you can. Brockington went in motion that way, and he wound up being the guy that was blocking. 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, just get him a quick throw outside. And it's not necessarily about him gaining yards and all of that. You need one of your most talented players to see the ball. He needs to touch the football. Yep. And that's an outstanding job by offensive coordinator Greg Harbaugh Jr. of making sure that he gets one of his outstanding athletes a touch.
Harbaugh, another one of those guys promoted from within in the Minnesota coaching staff. That's something PJ really likes to do. Taylor trying to burrow ahead. Not much room, if any. Just a couple of yards on that play.
We saw in that first half the offensive line kind of, especially towards the end of the half, lean on Illinois' defense. They were able to get what they wanted in the run game. Those offensive linemen were creating a new line of scrimmage. You did not see that on that play there, and it sets up this 3rd and 5, which is where Illinois feels they have an advantage. They feel like they have an opportunity to get them off the field in situations such as this.
Be interesting to see because technically you force them into a passing situation with 5 wides, no running backs for Brosme. Romser makes his way out, flush from the pocket, now lets it fly for his tight end, incomplete. He had to unload it there. Collerup, the intended receiver, well defended by Matthew Bailey. And it's a 4th down and 5 in a punt formation.
We saw this in the first half, but a very nice job again by number 9, Seth Coleman, of coming up the field and then underneath to get to the quarterback. Now, he's the edge protector, and you don't always want to see your edge protector come inside. However, he's not truly threatened by Brosmer's ability to break the bank as a runner on the outside. He flushes them out, and the ball has to be thrown away. Outstanding start for that Aaron Henry defense.
Crawford with a beautiful boot taken by Beatty at his 18. He manages to get ahead to about the 23-yard line. And the story on the Illinois side, what's that, Josh?
Well, head coach Brett Bielema told me on defense they got to do a better job of stopping the run on the offensive side of the ball. He wants to see them extend these drives to convert on 3rd down better in this second half. And by the way, Pat Bryant, who limped off at the end of the first half, tested that right leg out during the break, gave the thumbs up, and is good to go, guys. You see him walking back out on the field for the second half.
You're not going to stop that young man today.
I mean, is that not the way to test it, right? He goes up and does a nice little twirl. I mean,
pirouette. That was a pirouette.
Very good. I mean, that's the hurt version of Pat Bryant. Look how high he got up.
Lawfrey in the backfield. From the 23, it's 1st down, Illinois. That ball was tipped into the air. Batted down. Great work by Lindenberg, 45. Listen, if you can't get there, get your arms up and affect the play, and that's exactly what Cody Lindbergh did.
Yeah, he sees the run, he takes a step forward, and then he's in pass coverage, and he just jumps up and gets that right paw on the ball because he has an open receiver in Franklin behind him. Outstanding play by him.
He did that several times in the game with Maryland a week ago. Hayden Lawfrey remains the setback on 2nd and 10. Dixon wide to the bottom of the screen, and here goes Lawfrey again. And it looks as though he may have made the line to make. Gain of 10, move the chains. Kerry Brown and Logan Redding, Jalen Logan Redding, 97, with a stop.
This is a really nice run and a nice job by this offensive line getting to the second level. When you can get to the second level, number 75, Brandon Henderson, covers up the linebacker, and it gives space for the runner to get the first down. Nice job by Lawfrey finding space to get down the field.
That's an excellent offensive front that Illinois has.
Yeah, it's been shuffled around as well.
It has. Going long. It is Franklin. Incomplete. Well, that was a wow moment. Even though he didn't bring it in, the pass was where only he could get it. Justin Wally was in hot pursuit, and Franklin having a hard time getting up.
He goes on that high corner, and this is almost a spectacular play, but he can't finish it after he hits the ground right. He gets his hands in position, and the ground makes it come out.
Yeah. You worry
that's
about
a nice job by the cornerback, Wally, finishing the play.
He may be in concussion protocol after that. You could see him going right to the helmet. So he hit the carpet flush right there. Timeout. Good news on Zachary Franklin. Shook out the cobwebs on his way. A lot of the guys were talking to him to make sure he was okay. And
he tried to get in on this play.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's going to sit.
Just sit out one play at least. My goodness.
So I didn't mean to throw too much caution to the wind for the Franklin family. He's okay and will be good to go. 2nd and 10. Lawfrey trying the right side, and it is hard to run between the tackles against this Minnesota group. That's Gooseby, Aiden Gooseby with the stop coming up from that free safety position. 3rd down and 8 now for Illinois.
Yeah, and Aiden Gooseby has done a really nice job throughout this season at that safety position, getting down into the box like you just saw there, making plays on runners. And he's a safety down making plays at the line of scrimmage. You got to love that.
Altmaier's offense is 4 out of 7 on 3rd downs. Blitz coming late from Parrish. He missed him. And Altmaier may have gotten the first down. No, he's back to the line of scrimmage. Back to the original line of scrimmage. That's Jack Henderson that comes up to polish him off, and he's a little slow to get up, getting some help from the umpire. And it's 4th down. I thought for a moment that he was going to air it out big time, and then he took off. It looked as though he had an opportunity here. Parrish just whiffed here.
It's a nice job of protection by Illinois, but there's nobody open downfield. And a nice poise by the quarterback, Altmaier, standing in the pocket and making sure that nothing's open and trying to make sure he minimizes the damage.
Robertson to punt it away. This is a line driver, and Parrish is calling him off. It takes a favorable bounce for Minnesota, so they'll have decent field position with the ball at the 35 when we come back. Statue of Red Grange outside Memorial Stadium. You know, it was just a couple of weeks ago we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the Galloping Ghost winning his name against the Michigan Wolverines. This is the jersey, the real jersey from 100 years ago. And I'm going to do my best Vanna White right here, right? This is, number 77. And you got the football.
Yeah, man. I mean,
the actual football from the game.
I've got footballs from my freshman year that they've lost air. They lost air like right after my freshman year. How is the air still in? I mean, they don't make the air like they used to.
Well,
Tim.
Kent Brown is the historian here and longtime sports information director, and he's done a tremendous job of keeping all of these artifacts in great shape.
You think
he has?
You think I can keep it or no? No? Can I keep it? No, I can't. Gotta give it back. Okay, gotta give it back, guys. Sorry.
Oh man, great memories. And by the way, that moment from 100 years ago is only matched by the 11th anniversary of your big day against Indiana, the same weekend. That's Darius Taylor taking it ahead just past the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I'm going to get you back for that, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you back.
By the way, when our colleagues and friends over at CBS, Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson, called that game, they did an incredible job with the open of that show. And Brian Barnhart, the play-by-play man for Illinois, did the old voice of the radio announcer in a sort of Walter Winchell style.
How does it go?
So make it go. It's Grange at the 45, the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30. That's how you do it. Commentators back in those days. There's a slant pattern to Daniel Jackson, and that one was dynamite. to the 45.
I just love when a pro-style offense shows its colors. You get quarterback going, turning his back, sticking that back foot in the ground, and then driving it on the shoulder pads. And guys, I'm just telling you, Daniel Jackson is one of the best, absolute best combat catchers in America. I mean, he just makes all the tough catches make so seamlessly easy, and it's so impressive to watch. Tough catch maker, the best.
From the 45, it's Taylor again. Well, here's some of those catches you were talking about.
I mean, these amazing catches, he makes them look routine. This is from a year ago. I mean, watch him put that foot behind him and drag the turf bubbles. You know it's a catch. They reviewed it. Shouldn't have. It was great. And then a few weeks ago, just guys all over his back. And then this was just unbelievable. There is not going to be a better catch that you'll see all year. He catches it with kind of like the backside of his left hand. I mean, unbelievable ability to make those tough catches look very easy.
Brosmer with time, checks it down to Taylor. Not much. May have lost a yard on that play as Matthew Bailey comes up to make the stop. 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, you can see Bailey laughing and smiling, saying, hey, we went in and we watched. We know you're getting to that running back quickly, and so we'll be prepared for it here in the second half.
Minnesota 4 out of 9 on 3rd downs. Now they're going to take Taylor out to a wide receiver spot and go empty. So 5 wides here.
Coleman does a nice job at the defensive end position at the bottom of your screen.
Oh, great route. And I believe he had to come back for that. Darius Taylor did make the stop. They're going to give him the 35. That'll be enough for the 1st down.
Tim, I mean, this is a running back, Tim.
Yeah.
We just talked about a wide receiver in Jackson making tough catches, but how about the running back running a curl, snapping the route down, getting the hands off, and making his own version of a combat catch? So impressive.
How about the coordinators and PJ's over there quickly, too, to make sure that you got it right. You got the mark right.
And you got to love the wherewithal by a running back to know what yardage to get, knowing that you're going to race back to the quarterback so that you still have the 1st down yardage.
Taylor now suddenly 7 catches for 49. Brooms are in trouble and down. Backside pressure, Timmy. Vince Dooley used to say to me, Odaluga. Kanena Odaluga with the sack. Junior from South Holland, Illinois.
This doesn't usually happen to Brosmer. He usually understands where he's hot from. Well, they don't have enough to block it. He doesn't realize that he's hot from the backside, and Olanuga gets to the quarterback and gets him to the ground.
Well, they back him all the way up now to the 42-yard line after the loss of 7. Second and 17. Brosmer. A lot of patience there. There's Elijah Spencer. We touched on his probably being a valued commodity in this second half. If you're going to cover up Taylor and concentrate on him, Spencer is likely to be open. That's 12 yards, and that sets up 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and that's one of those routes that we call a post curl, right? He goes, sticks his foot to the post, and then he goes back to the quarterback and creates just enough space, and then a little bit of yards after catch to try to make this a more manageable 3rd down. They're lining up in man-to-man defense, but as you know and as you've seen all day, they can easily go to a cover 2 or a different coverage and try to confuse Brosmer.
Taylor! Wow. Well, that thing looked like it was going to be stopped up, and then all of a sudden he sets sail for 7 yards. You got a run-pass conflict, and they had it covered, and he just flat cut it back up, put his foot in the ground, and got the 1st.
Yeah, and the referees missed one here. They got a hold on Coleman, trying to reach and go get Taylor, but like we talked about earlier, it's not called. Taylor goes underneath and picks up the 1st down.
You're right. Coleman was mugged. No question about that.
As well as Taylor's playing in the pass game, he's averaging 7 yards a carry as well.
By the way, that's a pro of the future, Ursary, that made that block. And the uncalled hold Jamison Gears, the intended receiver. That time it goes incomplete.
And the talented Matthew Bailey on the coverage, man. I mean, they talk so glowingly about this kid. And when I saw him in the building yesterday, as I was going to lift, I might add, he is a strapping young man. I mean, tall, long, everything you want from that hybrid kind of safety linebacker position.
Really haven't mentioned this O-line too much. We should have, because Ursery is a big-time talent. 6'6", 330, redshirt senior. Cooper, Johnson, Beers, Carroll, the rest of that group up front. Taylor remains the setback. Look at that little skip from the right to the left-hand side, little jump stop maneuver. Kreutz makes the stop along with Akis, and it's 3rd down and long coming up. The line to make is the 13, so it's 3rd down and 7. Oh boy, look at that. Xavier Scott, the nickel, who's supposed to be blanketing Daniel Jackson, is now in the tent. They're taking a look at him.
And if I'm Brosmer or if I'm Greg Harbaugh Jr., I have to be in the helmet of Brosmer right now telling them, hey, we need to get 9 the football. Their guy's out, and he's got a lot of space to the top of your screen.
Brosmer looking for him. Boy, he certainly had his eye on him, didn't he, from the very jump.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He was thinking the same thing I was thinking. Hey, let's take a shot to our guy. Maybe a little bit of a hold there as he's trying to get to the corner. But he gets away with it, and they have safety over the top to help. Nice job by this Illinois defense.
Jaheim had him with juice and then some, didn't he? Number 25 taking over for Scott in that coverage. And that's Darius Taylor on the ground. And a lot of concern on the Minnesota bench. We'll take a look and see what happened with him. But that is a very unfortunate. He's getting up on his own. That's good news. That is. They need to keep him healthy.
I mean, he's been the offense essentially, right?
Yeah,
the leading receiver, and obviously we talked about averaging 7 yards a carry. So impressive. Like we keep saying, he's a true sophomore and a guy who only started playing the running back position as a senior in high school. His ability as a runner and pass catcher has been on full display today.
He's the security blanket for Brosmer, no question. Kesich is now in to try a field goal. He's been effective today. This one will be from 38 yards. From the left hash. No problem. 16-10. This looks like a one-possession game throughout, doesn't it? Fan Cam, sponsored by Coke Zero Sugar. Is it the best Coke ever? Try and decide. I'll tell you, from the Grove outside, this may be one of the best Big Ten locations for tailgating I've ever seen. Just the colors were splendid. They set up shop early. People with their RVs parked outside here. Just a little walk from the I Hotel where we reside whenever we come here. Just a beautiful place.
All right, now Tim, they're going to be at your door waiting. You know you're a big-time celebrity. They said, wait, it's Tim's first time here? They're going to be waiting on you at the I.
I've got an early flight to catch. If I have to be quick with you after the game, you just have to give me a break, will you?
Yeah, I got you covered.
Yeah. Let's go down to Josh Sims.
Well, you know, Xavier Scott was not in on that last drive. He's the guy tasked with following number 9 around for Minnesota. He's on the sideline, went into the tent. It looked like they were looking at one of his legs. He's out of the tent now, walking up and down the sideline, testing it out to see if he can go back in. But right now, no helmet in his hand, and he's been shaking his head back and forth, looking frustrated, but no idea if he's going back in or not. We'll have to wait and see, guys.
Well, you see who was designated to take over for him. They moved Clark into that nickel spot, which means they're going to change things up with who's playing corner. That's one of the things about this Illinois defense that Aaron Henry runs. Guys in the secondary are multi-talented, can play multiple positions.
You got man-to-man defense here.
Yep. Valentine, Khalil Valentine, gets past the 25 to the 27-yard line for a gain of 2. Devin Eastern making the stop. This is a game of patience where the coaches of both teams are looking at matchups seriously to take advantage of. If you're into that kind of football, and guys like us are, this is really fun to watch. And that time, they were able to induce possible encroachment. We'll see if it's offensive or defensive.
Offside with contact. Defense number 91. 5-yard penalty. Second
I think
down.
Altmaier did that with cadence.
Yeah, and that's perfect because a week ago against Oregon, the issue was they couldn't stay on schedule, right? And so with that first play, you're off schedule, but you get this offsides penalty, everybody holds their water, and it puts you right back in a position to be on schedule, and you got an opportunity for a big play action shot down the field if you want it.
That graphic right there will tell you how penalty-free, for the most part, this game has been. Josh McCray finds a crack and now gets a big-time scrum push. Fans love that. Old-style Big Ten football for a gain of 10.
Again, watch the left side of the line. Watch everybody down and put McCray in a position to just go straight, right? Go straight a little to the left and pick up that first down.
From the 42 now. McCray now 4 shy of his season high on the ground. 78 is his high. He's got 74 right now. Altmaier slings it out. A little too high for Pat Bryant. He runs out of some real estate, Pat. Wishes he had about another yard or he would have made that catch.
Yeah, ran out of real estate, but it doesn't take away how impressive this is to watch him sky up and go grab that football. You would love to see him stick that foot back in bounds, but that's a different kind of body control.
Think he'd be great in a pickup game of basketball? Wow. A few dunks in his future. 2nd and 10. Altmaier runs out of time. Oh, he dropped it. Got a fortuitous bounce and then was wisely going to just get on top of it and allow his body to fall down at the 43-yard line.
Well, the crazy thing here is he's doing everything you want. He's got 2 hands on the ball, and he just knocks the ball up against his thigh, and the ball comes out because that's unfortunate. He looks like he's going to have some space to move down the field, but they set up this 3rd and long opportunity, and on 3rd and long, they've done a nice job of sending safeties and sending blitzes in the middle, but also on the outside, they got the guys mugged up in the middle right now.
3rd and 8. Pressure. Little games and deals that time, and Dixon with the reception. Oh, may have bobbled it. And a marker down, so we'll hold everything here.
In the line of scrimmage, everything looked clean. It looked like everybody blocked everyone, so I'm really interested to see what this flag is about.
Personal foul, maybe? Let's see.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 3rd down.
That's Josh Geske, the left guard. 6'5", 325. Hard to miss him. Or his running mate there, J.C. Davis, 74. They're both big uns.
I think he's just much stronger. I don't like that as a hold. I like that as I just made him receive it. From what they've called today, that doesn't look like a hold to me. It looks like, they haven't made those calls today. That looks like a good block.
Let's see what Barry Lunny dials up here. More traffic, and down goes Altmaier again, and a late flag comes in as Altmaier was going down.
I think that'll be a hold, and I think that'll be the right call.
Yeah, or maybe mask. Could be a face mask.
Oh, a face mask could be late.
Which is a huge break for
Personal
Illinois.
Foul. Face mask. Defense number 17. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first
Poor
down.
Jaw Joyner, and you have to feel for B.J. Fleck and for Joyner here. It just happens that way sometimes.
Yeah,
it's a good call.
He's just trying to make a play, and he's slipping down. The launch point, the kind of angle is trying to change him because the quarterback's going down, and he just reaches trying to grab him and grabs that face mask. So that's a break for Illinois, but I think it's almost poetic justice, right? Because, you get the first down. I don't think it's a hold. They call the hold, and so now everything is in order.
Well, I love the situational ethics of a quarterback of the past.
Poetic justice, baby.
And a timeout for Illinois. Always seeing the game through the prism of the offense.
That's right.
At the mission-critical position. That's my man, Devin Gardner. We'll be back. Champaign-Urbana, resplendent in colors. On this, my first trip during the fall season. Foliage is gorgeous, and so too the sights inside Memorial Stadium. I got to tell you, man, it's just beautiful. And, it's been warmer than usual everywhere across the country in the early fall. But, boy, this is the right time in November to be here, my friend.
I don't know, Tim. Earlier this morning when you were doing that cold dance on the field with no sun, didn't look like it was warm to me.
I was a fire-breathing broadcaster down there, wasn't I? Here's Altmaier. That ball is tipped into the air. Woo, that could have been picked. And had it been, it would have been look out. That's Maverick Baranowski, who does have a fumble recovery today, and he almost had a chance at nabbing this one off the tip drill.
And Anthony Smith is the defensive end who can't get to the quarterback, and so he gets that right hand up and just nips it before it gets out from Altmaier's arm.
Second down and 10 with the ball at the 48. Josh McCray now the setback. Play fake to him, and I was trying to go with a little out route to Franklin, but nothing doing. Great pressure again coming from Anthony Smith.
I mean, it's just a perfect call by defensive coordinator Corey Heatherman. They're in man-to-man coverage, right? So everybody's covered. You don't block the defensive end because it's a naked bootleg, so there's nowhere to throw this football. A nice job of picking up Franklin as he comes in motion. They've seen this play earlier in the game. A nice response by Minnesota's defense.
This is not a team that generally brings extra pressure, but he felt, we talked with Corey this week, and he said, we may have to bring more this week because of the way Altmaier likes to run this offense. Third down and 10. Now they drop into coverage. That pass almost was picked off. Franklin, but Lindenberg, he's upset with himself. Almost had hands of Velcro to take it back the other way. Fortunate that one wasn't picked off, and it could have been.
A nice job. He goes up, and then he gets back underneath what seems to be an easy throw for the quarterback. Outstanding job of showing pressure and then backing out into your zone, getting right underneath Franklin. And the one thing you want to see for him is to finish the play. Outstanding call, outstanding execution, excluding the drop.
That was the fifth pass breakup by Lindenberg today. Altmaier was thinking blitz, and they dropped back into coverage. That was a thing of beauty. Parrish is back deep. And once again, he calls everyone off. And it does take a Minnesota bounce, and they'll have it at the 17 on what was a low trajectory punt. NFL knowledge from those who've been there. The facility breaks down the NFL from the player's perspective. Join Shady McCoy, James Jones, Chase Daniel, and Emmanuel Acho every weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on FS1.
Yeah, Shady McCoy is a national treasure and should be protected at all costs. He's hilarious, man. He's about as real as it gets on television.
I know some people in Louisiana that love Shady for that performance he had for Wannstedt in 07 against West Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
That helped get LSU in the national championship game.
Yep.
And they beat Ohio State and are the only team to win a national title in the BCS or college football playoff era with 2 losses.
Man, you're like an encyclopedia of football knowledge.
Yep, Shady McCoy put on a show that night in the backyard brawl. Darius Taylor, take a look at Taylor taking that rock and is stopped up to the 23, maybe the 24, a gain of 7, and it's second down and 3.
And he's done a really nice job all day, and, averaging 7 yards a carry, pick up 7 on the first run of this drive. I mean, very good job of once again progressing gaps, getting outside on the outside zone, and picking up as much as he can.
2nd down and 3. Taylor again has the 1st down. Seth Coleman, number 9, with the stop. So this mix and match in that secondary for Aaron Henry is going to be interesting to watch the rest of the afternoon with no Xavier Scott. As Josh Sims documented, he's been in and out of the tent. Tried to see if he could go, and for right now, it's a no-go. And we got a little injury timeout here as Coleman is being looked at now.
Yeah, the referees are winding the clock, and you imagine that Minnesota would likely let the quarter end because they're just now getting to the line of scrimmage. So,
boy, is this a fast-paced game or what?
Yeah.
This is like if this were baseball, it would be an Atlanta Braves game with Greg Maddux pitching. It's moved quickly today. Very few turnovers or penalties, really, that have usually stymied the game. And we have not had one review in this game either. PJ's going to sprint it over there.
Yeah.
That is a Minnesota football tradition.
I asked him if he thinks he can get me. He said, no, I get him, and he's wrong. There's no way I beat him in a race.
In honor of the late, great Pete Rose, he's hustling down to the other end. The band, not just there for percussion. They got one of the best bands here, by the way, in all of college sports at Illinois. Tim Brando, Devin Gardner, Josh Sims as we open the 4th quarter. On 1st down. Taylor spun down at the 30, just a gain of 2. Matthew Bailey again. Boy, how active has that young man been?
He does such a nice job from the backside, just being in position, waiting for the cutback. We talked about the ability of Darius Taylor to keep his shoulder square and cut back. Well, when you cut back, you have to have a force player back there, and Bailey is that force player. He grabs him and snatches him to the ground.
With the ferocity there, you might have thought he had some face mask, but no, he had the top of that shoulder pad and bulldogged him down. 2nd and 8. 3-step drop, Brosmer. Out of the backfield, Taylor. Great recognition again. Only a gain of a yard that time.
You can tell that at halftime, Illinois went into the locker room and said, we have to stop allowing big gains on checkdowns. We can't continue to allow Brosmer to drop back, go through his reads, not like it, get to the running back and pick up big yardage. They do a nice job of getting to it, and the crowd is loud and ready for this 3rd down play.
That was the Virginia Tech transfer, Alec Bryant, number 3. From down deep in that depth chart that made that play out of Shadow Creek High School in Houston, Texas.
You got single coverage to your best receiver at the top of the screen.
3rd and 7. Brosmer. Taylor. And just enough on that particular tackle by Kreutz. He got just enough of his ankle. Otherwise, Taylor's still running. 15 yards.
It's man-to-man. Taylor is a better athlete. He gets in through the line of scrimmage, and he's just going to race you to the spot. And Brosmer knows where he's going the entire time. Once he knows it's man-to-man, a nice execution by both those players.
I mean, that's a big saving tackle when you think about it. Taylor could have broken that one for an explosive. Oh, yeah, 30, 40 yards maybe. Marcus Major checks in for him. Twin tight end setup. Going heavy, Major just keeps on pushing. That's the size we were talking about. And Bailey once again puts his nose in there, gets in the fray to assist on that tackle, a gain of 3 yards. Power football, Keith. Power football. That's what both of these coaches want to do. You think about the selections of these two coaches, Bielema and P.J. Fleck. They are big-time Big Ten style coaches, no doubt about it. Second down and 7.
Caleb Patterson has soft coverage at the bottom of your screen versus Jackson.
Out of the gun, looking for the corner. Incomplete. And again, tremendous coverage, mano a mano. Elijah Spencer working on Torrey Cox, number 5. The junior out of Miami was right there with him.
You want to know why this is so impressive, Tim? Because this is not a position they want to see Torrey Cox Jr. in. He's more of an outside corner. They don't love him in this position. However, with their talented corner going down, Xavier Scott, they have to find a way to put this together. And they put him inside, and he responds with great technique to make sure that's an incompletion.
Chaminade Mangum Prep, Miami, Florida. Torrey Cox. 3rd down 7. Markers down. Brosmer decides to tuck it and run. And he hits the deck about a yard shy of the necessary yardage for a 1st down.
Looks like there's a player lined up off sides, Tim.
Mm-hmm. That's a gain of 6.
Oh, legal procedure on the offense is going to be.
Yeah.
Illegal formation, offense, more than 4 in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Boy, the little things, right? Those are those penalties that you look back and go, wow, you know, we could have had a 4th and 1 and maybe had a decision ahead of us. Now we're looking at 3rd and 12. We got to make another big play again. And statistically, you know, that 3rd and long is tough.
You got all these guys in the backfield. The tackle's back because he's had to deal with so much pressure on his quarterback. So he's trying to get a little grace. And the referee picks it up right away.
Now they have to go empty with 5 wides. Brosmer in traffic. Is it? Incomplete. I thought it might be picked. It was thrown behind, and Jaheim Clark had an opportunity at a possible interception there.
His name is Jaheim Clark, and they call him Juice. Watch him at the top of your screen. In position. He's in phase, and so now he can find the football, and those are the throws that are always completed. When you're in position, but the receiver throws you by because he sees the ball first, he almost has himself an interception on that back shoulder throw.
Yeah, Brockington did a nice job of becoming a defender on that play to keep it from being picked off. Look, it's a fake. It's Crawford. I don't think he got there.
He didn't.
Fumbles on top of it. Wow, PJ pulls one out of the hat.
He does, and he may regret it because I don't think he got there.
No, he did not get there. The ball was fumbled forward.
Short of the 1st down. It will be 1st and 10. Illinois. Media timeout.
Well, I give PJ credit. Gabe Backus made the play there that saved it. But I must tell you, at the very beginning of this fake punt, it looked good. This was just great recognition after the fact.
Colin Dixon.
Dixon, 17.
Sure
Yep.
that play does not have success.
Yeah, Colin Dixon. We come back 1st and 10 after the botched opportunity at a fake punt, and more on that play and the dueling 17s in just a second. But now Illinois with the ball at the 46-yard line, and Altmaier throws it incomplete. Let's go back to the play and watch where 17 is located.
Yeah, he's located right here, and this is all hustle, right? He engages, right? He's being blocked. He spins off. He sees that the punter's trying to go, and then he has to strain to make sure, and just by inches, he stops him from getting the 1st down.
And on special teams, we do have dueling 17s. The quickness of the player tells you that it was Dixon rather than Backus, but that's just part of the game at the collegiate level. Thank you for picking me up there, partner.
Yeah, of course. I got you covered.
Valentine.
He got picked up just now.
Yeah, he did. A loss of a yard on that play. Smith has been, Anthony Smith's been everywhere for Minnesota defensively.
He has. He's played really well today.
Illinois, you think this is a great opportunity after the fake punt, and I give P.J. Fleck a lot of credit for rolling the dice there. He obviously has a lot of confidence in his D, and for now they're measuring up. It's 3rd and 11.
Outside wide receivers, you cannot leave them alone.
Altmaier slings it out. It's caught. Zakhari Franklin for a first down to the 39-yard line.
You cannot just allow them to run down the field. When you allow them to run down the field, they're just too talented. It's just a big dig into the middle of the defense. An outstanding job by him being friendly for the quarterback, right? Not running through the zone, finding the opening in the zone, and being nice and friendly in a nice throw by Altmaier.
First and 10 at the 39. Illinois down by 6. They fake the sweep. And coming back the other way to Goda. This is a tight end that Barry Lunney could not stop talking yesterday about this kid Goda, Division II transfer. He has made a big difference. Another one of those kids from New Hampshire.
Slow.
Yep.
And then he goes up the sideline. And this is a great catch. Altmaier knows he's got a big target. He throws it up high. He goes up all hands, snatches it down, and takes the hit.
From Bradenton, Florida. That's his home, but played at the New Hampshire level, and he's made a big difference. And now Justin Wally, who was involved in the play, is dinged up, and they're going to have to attend to him. As Illinois now with the ball and the clock ticking, 9:29. A great opportunity for them to take the lead in this game, and we got another one that's going to come down to the final series of the game. Now let's go to Mike Hill now in Los Angeles for an all-state game break.
Yeah, Tim, Miami trying to stay undefeated, but Duke giving them a fight. Blue Devils were up 11 till the Canes stormed back. This Elijah Lofton 2-yard run, reclaiming the lead for the U. It's now in the fourth with Miami up 32-28. Tim and Devin.
All right, thank you, Sarge. That Duke team will not give up. They are a tough team. And if Miami with a transformational quarterback is going to get the job done, it'll be another close one in the ACC for them. Altmaier's pass in the corner, caught, Franklin, touchdown.
We've seen this route all day. It's the circus route. And Altmaier knows what he's going to have in man-to-man coverage. The wide receiver does a nice job of diving inside, showing eyes, and then getting back outside. And again, another all-hands combat catch for one of these Illinois pass catchers, this time Zakhari Franklin.
16th touchdown pass for Altmaier this year. And the all-important extra point is good. Here's your circus route for you.
I mean, just look at the formation. He runs inside, eyes inside, makes that C, and then makes that catch. Touchdown, Illinois. They take the lead, Tim.
A look at our drive summary, sponsored by the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Tune in on December 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. 5 plays, 54 yards, 2:08 off the clock. Franklin, 21 yards for the score. He's got 5 on the day for 71. And for Altmaier, look at that, 148 minutes and 50 seconds between his last 2 touchdown passes. One was a game winner in OT against Purdue back on October the 12th here, and now this one. And by the way, Franklin, this is amazing, 40th career touchdown. You're saying, wait a minute, didn't he transfer? Yeah, he did transfer. He had 37 catches for touchdowns at UTSA for the Roadrunners, had 1 at Ole Miss, and now 2 at Illinois. Most by all active players, most receptions, yards, and touchdowns among any active players in college football. And they'll go through the end zone for a touchback. Let's go back to the touchdown, Devin.
Yeah, I mean, the details in the route for Franklin are what got him open, because Rylan Kelly is in a good position. You can see him right here starting to go inside, and then he gives eyes to the quarterback. And after eyes to the quarterback, it allows him to sneak over the top and get to the end zone, and you see him pull that left shoulder through, and it's a catch and a perfect throw by Altmaier. I mean, the details of the route, the throw, outstanding job. And like I said, Kelly had good coverage. They think highly of him because he's a good player, but the details in the route, there's no defense for a perfect offense.
How many people would know that Franklin has the most career touchdown catches among all Division I college football
he
players.
leads in most categories, honestly.
Amazing. No one outside of Scott Alexander, our content coordinator, would know that. Darius Taylor's in the backfield. Now Brosmer has to duck under some trouble and lets it fly. And boy, he almost completed that to Buckington. You talk about resourceful. Max Brosmer. He almost pulled that off.
Man, that's scary when you get a quarterback on the outside, and what the thing you have to do is it's called plaster to your wide receivers, and a really nice job by Caleb Patterson trying to find his way back to number 0, LeMckee Brockington.
2nd and 10. Brockington this time comes flanked wide to the bottom of your screen. Minnesota down 1. Brosmer looping it down the sideline on the go. It's Jackson. What a catch.
Unbelievable. When you're a wide receiver and you know maybe the ball just a little short, you don't want the defense to know that it's coming. You have to relax. It's hard to do, but you have to relax in that point. Watch him completely die. He relaxes, ball drops. Perfect. I mean, that is about as good as it gets in football.
I mean, Jaheim Clark's a good, he's not Xavier Scott, okay, but he is a good defender.
Well, when the receiver's arms die, you think the ball's not coming.
Absolutely.
Outstanding job by Jackson.
Taylor, oh boy, how about those moves, huh? Inside the 25 to the 23, and Miles Scott, number 10, with a stop. That's 15 on that play.
Once again, he winds it back, right? He presses the hole, shoulder square, and now he can get to the cutback lane. Coleman is trying to go chase him across the formation. A nice job again by the sophomore running back.
37 yards on one play, then another dynamic run from Taylor, and all of a sudden, PJ's team on the doorstep of the red zone.
And that run puts Taylor at 122 yards rushing. He's been dynamic in the run game.
Marcus Major is back there now with Brosmer. And we got a marker down. I think we may have had a false start. 69, Ursery, the outstanding left tackle, seemed to move a little early.
Yeah, just a bit before the ball was snapped.
Hard to miss him.
Yeah, big dude.
6'6", 330.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, it was going to be one or the other. He got saved by Brosmer going a little too long before taking the snap, but he definitely moved too soon.
Yeah, and he's such a pro. He's probably looking at the play clock and saying this ball's got to get snapped.
Yeah. He will play on Sundays, big number 69. This is his 35th consecutive start. Arianle Ursery. That out route to Jackson. And he's down at the 19-yard line. Clark with the stop. That's a 10-yard gain. So once again, you get quite a bit back after a penalty.
Yeah, and I highlighted him before the play because it feels like winning time, right? It feels like that time where you lean on your guys. And who are your guys? Obviously, the quarterback, Max Brosmer, but also Daniel Jackson at the wide receiver position and Darius Taylor. Those are the three guys that are going to bring this thing home for Minnesota.
This is a huge game for both teams. We touched on it at the outset. It needs to be said again. 2nd and 5. Brosmer over the middle and caught. Elijah Spencer at the 5. 13 yards and a 1st and goal, and he took quite a pop.
A nice route by him and a nice finish by the defensive backfield. A violent legal hit. My goodness.
Yeah, with the shoulder by Miles Scott.
Wow. That is...
It's the way you draw it up.
I'm glad I'm up here wearing a suit. I do not want to take shots like that. They may review it.
Is under review for potential targeting.
Yeah, but he got him with the shoulder.
Yeah, he tried to go to the shoulder, but he did make contact with his helmet. So all the aspects have to come into play. Is he defenseless is the first question, right? Because if he is defenseless, if they render him defenseless, that means you cannot hit him with any part of your body forcibly to the head or neck area, and that's clearly to the head or neck area. So this is interesting how they're going to judge this, because if he's not defenseless, now it has to be crown of the helmet specifically, and I don't think he gets him with the crown of the helmet.
No, and the intent was, you could see he definitely pulled that shoulder out, so he was aware of the defenseless nature of the receiver here, in my opinion.
Well, Tim, for the referees, you can't judge intent, right? No. You can only call it how it is, and if they say he's defenseless, that's the key.
Yeah.
If they deem him defenseless, then it's the head or neck area, whether it's the crown of the helmet, shoulder, or whatever. And so that's what you have to wait and see on with the referees.
The subjectivity, again, of what is deemed defenseless and a blow to the head. Mike Pereira, what say you?
Well, I say let's go to the first part. Is he defenseless? Has he had time to clearly establish himself as a runner? I don't think so in real time. I still think he's defenseless. So in my opinion, now you're looking to contact with the head or to the head or neck area with an indicator. And to me, there's an indicator, and there is helmet contact. And as we look at it now, everything looks like in slow motion he's got plenty of time, but he doesn't. So that would still be a defenseless player. And as I look at this in targeting, is it forcible enough to the head? I believe so. I think it's a good stop by replay to look at.
Yeah, I understand completely. And by the way, in real time and calling it, what I saw was a shoulder.
Yeah.
And frankly, when Mike sizes it up, you got to believe it.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, and number 10. That penalty will be half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. Number 10 is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
Here's where Mike Pereira is so accurate, right? In that, in real time, watch how this unfolds. It's tough. That's a tough call, but the subjectivity of it, Mike, is what's important here, and I think you outlined it perfectly. That's why we pay Mike the big bucks. That's why he's always right.
Yeah, we pay him the Brando bucks.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So now it's 1st and goal from the 2, and the tough part of this is not only is Scott gone from this game, but the first half of their next matchup. Straight eye formation now with Taylor dotting the I. And those legs keep churning even after the Fighting Illini were doing just that at the point of attack. Minnesota going heavy with the extra tight ends. The clock's still ticking too. Now it becomes, Devin, a possessions game in every way imaginable.
Yeah, I mean, how many chances will you have to get the football back?
Yeah.
And, what would be huge here is for Illinois to hold Minnesota to a field goal. They've done it before, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get it close enough that this is not 4-down territory for P.J. Fleck.
Look out. Beautiful call. Wide open for the touchdown to Jamison Gears. Well, that's his second touchdown of the season, and they love to go to the tight ends, and it was a thing of beauty.
They show tush push, and the guy trying to guard the tight end in the tush push position is Bailey, but he's inside the line of scrimmage trying to make sure that you don't push the quarterback in the end zone, and so it's man-to-man. There's nobody there for him, and it's a touchdown for Gears. They're going to go for 2 here.
Yep.
To make this a 7-point game and force Illinois to go get in the end zone plus the extra point.
Timeout by Illinois.
Illinois, the second. Be 30 seconds in lane.
Here we are with Bailey right here. He's in position in man-to-man coverage, but it looks like tush push, right? So he steps up into the line of scrimmage as well, and you get Gears, who goes and sneaks out to the flat. A very nice design by offensive coordinator Greg Harbaugh Jr., getting his guys in an advantageous position to get the ball in the end zone.
So Aaron Henry, I want you to go inside the head of the defensive coordinator here because, we may be talking about the difference in, having a drive to win the game or a drive to tie the game. What do you anticipate Minnesota to do as a two-point play that they believe they have every confidence in will work?
So I remember a few weeks ago they went drop back pass and threw a game winner on a check down to the running back, Darius Taylor, and I imagine there's going to be a drop back pass here. They're going to drop back and he's going to get to his check down quickly, and that could be the person that tries to get in the end zone. So they have to make sure they cover down on every single person that is in the route pattern.
Play fake to him. Brosmer with time. Incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Callerup, in the back of the end zone. He had options there.
They were all over it.
They were.
They were all over the route pattern, but also the check down, which is where you see Brosmer trying to kind of take his eyes, and it's just not there.
So, this one is on the line in the next possession. Minnesota with a 5-point lead right now. (22-17), and there's the outstanding tight end, Gears, who made think about the magnificence of that drive, and Max Brosmer. He is everything we were told he would be and then some. Lots of composure in that drive, but that big stop by Illinois and the timeout called by Aaron Henry was crucial as well before Illinois gets the ball back again, trailing by 5 rather than 7. Lenari Wilcher again is the deep safety as the kick comes his way, and they'll let it go through for a touchback. So, in one-score games since 2023, they're 8-3, tied for the most wins in FBS. 3-0 this season. Number 19 at the time, Kansas. Number 22 at the time, Nebraska and Purdue. 3-0. And that was a Purdue team that came from well behind to make it a game, trail by 21 at one point, but they staved it off and got the victory in overtime.
So, Tim, what you're saying is they've got Minnesota right where they want.
See what Barry Lunny comes up with. Calling these plays for Altmaier, and it's Lawfrey going ahead. The thing that you want to have here, obviously, is a long drive, but one that consumes plenty of time, which is right in the Illinois wheelhouse. Jackson Howard, number 1, made that stop of Lawfrey, but a gain of 4, so 2nd and 6.
Yeah, they've showed good balance today, and they're going to have that aforementioned long drive that is time-consuming. But the one thing for Minnesota's defensive coordinator Corey Heatherman has done a nice job of sending blitzes when they don't select it.
Plenty of time, and out of the backfield, he shoots it to Lawfrey, who is within 2 yards of a first down, shoved out at the 33. 3rd and 2 coming up.
Altmaier takes a page out of Max Brosmer's book, right? Doesn't like what he sees downfield, and he gets it to his back quickly to pick up yardage and create this 3rd and short, which is where Illinois feels really comfortable.
This quarterback transferred from his hometown, Ole Miss, into Illinois with the dream of being that guy. Well, this is a that guy moment for him. Josh McCray is in the backfield. Oh, look at that read. Beautifully done by Minnesota, coming off the edge. That's Kerry Brown. He plays about 50% of the snaps now and has been a difference maker. Had 4 tackles against Maryland after missing the game with UCLA.
Yeah, young redshirt freshman. He goes in motion. You're going to see him come right underneath here as he's chasing Pat Bryant and make this play in the backfield. What an outstanding play by the redshirt freshman, Kerry Brown.
Well, they're putting the game on the line right here, right now. 6 out of 13 on the season on 4th down. They go trips at the top. And now McCray comes back in the backfield. Altmaier zips it incomplete. Minnesota gets the stop. And that looked like a mix-up. Franklin, the intended receiver, and Kerry Brown was there to break it up.
Yeah, and they're looking for a pass interference call because he does get there a tad bit early, but I do like the no call. By the way they've called this football game all day, you're going to get outside and underneath. Kerry Brown has seen it before. He beats him to the spot. He's allowed to that same position. He does get handsy early, right? He's there a little bit early. I don't know if it's enough contact to call pass interference. The referees don't call it.
Well, it's been physical back there all day, and it's really been, when you think about it, a penalty-free game for the most part.
You know one thing about that throw, about that play? If the throw's a little more on target, right, now you can call pass interference. But because the ball's outside and the only person that could touch it was Kerry Brown, I don't think the referees, they don't feel compelled to throw the flag.
Taylor's the setback. Minnesota with possession now, and they're going to try to chew on the clock here a little bit. Taylor, very important that they hold him to short yardage, force him into a field goal position if that. Kreutz makes the stop, but it is a gain of 6. Maybe they were thinking this too from a defensive standpoint. Altmaier had targeted 19 of his 26, had gone to either Franklin or Bryant. So maybe they were keyed on those two guys as Altmaier's outs in that situation on 4th down.
Yeah, the young guy, Kerry Brown, number 14, was in perfect position. He knew exactly what was coming. He squatted. He knew that ball would have to come out, and he broke on it.
Yeah, and again, they were only down. They got one timeout left, so they really can't do anything about the clock.
Technically 2 timeouts if you count the 2-minute timeout.
Correct. Taylor shreds the first would-be tackler and is to within 2 yards of a 1st down.
Yeah, but, you know, they're in position to get points here, so it's going to be a 2-score game.
Yep.
So at some point there's going to have to be an onside kick anyway, but it will go a long way to get a stop here, and hopefully they miss a field goal or you block it.
Well, worst case, if they do kick a field goal, you can get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, conceivably. 2-minute timeout is here. The game is on the line when we come back. I mean, absolutely on the line. And in many ways, the fortunes of an entire season. A November to remember. 77-1. I'm sorry. Red Range won. As we were going to break, the Galloping Ghost actually won, but at the tape,
100%.
A reach by the guy in orange. He claims victory. I'm sorry.
It's a mutiny.
No,
I need a recount.
77's navel hit before his arm reached out.
100%. By Olympic rules, it's your torso. It's not your hand reaching out.
All right, game's on the line. 3rd and 2. If Taylor gets this 1st down, it's over. But he stopped. I mean, nothing doing. The Illini with a push from T-Raw Edwards, the nose tackle, and Gabe Ackas, 17, the linebacker, get the stop they needed.
And partner, earlier I said it'd be a 2-score game, but no, they did not get that 2-point conversion.
Yep.
And like you said, they can go score and go for 2, even if they make this field goal that they're going to attempt. But I wouldn't be surprised if P.J. Fleck doesn't try to end this game and go for it on 4th down.
Right here, right now.
I've seen him do it, right?
Yeah.
I've seen him do it. Against USC, he had an opportunity to kick a field goal, but he decided to go for a touchdown at the 1-yard line.
And
so
here's the reason, too. He's on the road.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a road game. A lot of times you feel free about rolling the dice when you're in that situation, but it does appear that they're going to bring Kesich out for the field goal.
He says, you know, my luck might have run out, so I'll make sure I'll play it safe and kick a field goal here.
Yeah. 41-yard try. ...41-yard try. Flag is down. Looks like we've got...
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, that's key. Back him up another 5 yards. He's got plenty of leg, no doubt about that. He's been dynamite today.
How big could that be?
Yeah, it could be big. He's hit from 20, 45, and 38. This would be his 4th field goal of the afternoon, and now it's from 46 yards. Absolutely right down Broadway. And now it's an 8-point game, but the Illini defense does the job and keeps them in this game.
Absolutely. This is exactly what they needed. The operation is perfect, and he nails it. But there's still a chance.
There is still a chance. And they have got to get the ball. Remember, Illinois used some timeouts early, and they're down to 1. So they have got to move the ball and use the boundary as best they can. And how did we get to this point, you say? No timeouts left. So Illinois has got to use the sideline the rest of the way. Taylor scored right away to give the Gophers the lead. That 10-3 after we had dueling field goals. And then this was a great run by McCray.
Yeah.
Josh just got to that second level after a couple of missed tackles. And then Altmyer went to work. Picture perfect pass to Zachary Franklin from 21 yards out. And then Minnesota with the answer. Gears got in gear for that touchdown. They went for 2, missed, but now with a field goal, that 2-point conversion has been turned into a 3-point field goal. So an 8-point lead. Illinois needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to keep this one underway.
And Tim, let's talk about the ways to stop the clock, right? With no timeouts for Illinois, first down, stop the clock, but not for the entire time, right? It just stops it momentarily as they move the chains, right? So the middle of the field is still open as long as you get first downs, right? The sideline, obviously, going out of bounds will stop the clock permanently so you can huddle, get a good play called, and also incomplete passes completely stop the clock, right? So those are the options for Illinois as they try to put this ball into play and drive down for a game-winning touchdown.
This is spread the field and use the breadth and width of the field to go down and score. Altmyer's going to take it himself. That means the clock will tick. He gets it out to the 31, gain of 6. That's Joey Gerlach, number 19, with the stop.
And when you have a call like that, you usually have a call already ready so that Altmyer can get up and snap the ball fairly quickly.
Tick, 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 tick. Altmyer's pass, incomplete. Dixon took his eye off of it, and it's 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that's a good throw by Altmyer. The only positive about that play, obviously, you would love for it to be catch first down, stop the clock momentarily to move the chains. However, an incompletion is not all bad in the middle of the field. Because from here on out, you're 4-down territory.
You want to know why he only throws to those 2 guys? That's probably why. Bryant and Franklin are sure-handed. That should have been a first down with the clock stopped. This pass is caught by Dixon.
And Dixon says, I see your sure hands, and I raise you a pair.
Gain of 9 and a first down. And they stop the clock. You notice that secondary, they're bringing 3 and dropping 8. Altmyer's pass is caught. That's a big league throw there to Wilcher. Kanari Wilcher on the receiving end that time.
Kanari Wilcher's only got 2 catches on the season. And how about the wherewithal by the true sophomore to catch the ball and quickly get out of bounds so that you can get a good play called as you continue to matriculate down the field.
Who's going to make the explosive play out of the passing game? Altmyer's pass on the cross is caught. It's a first down, and guess who? Pat Bryant.
Altmyer is dealing right now, getting into guys that haven't really contributed, and then he gets to his main target, Pat Bryant.
Pulls it down. Look at Altmyer go. He's got the first down, and another big-time hit. Parrish. Flag's going nuts. That could have easily been a penalty.
And Tim, to be quite frank, I think it should have been. He clearly gave himself up, and then there's enough contact that a flag, I think, should have been thrown.
Yeah. This one's caught, and again, it's Wilcher. Seldom used, as you mentioned, in the passing game. Here's the play again in question.
Yeah, he's clearly giving himself up. I mean, hit right in the head. That is a penalty. I'm sorry, Tim. And, I'm always pretty biased. Well, not always, but I'm relatively biased as I am a quarterback. But I think everybody watching at home can see, even Minnesota fans can see, that that's a penalty.
Yeah, he did get him from a replay standpoint. It was more his derriere that got him in the head.
Yep, you can't hit him, though.
Yeah, you
he
can't
gave
hit
himself
him.
up.
You're still not supposed to hit him, no matter what part of your anatomy may have gotten him.
Derriere, no derriere. Nobody cares.
Indeed. 2nd and 5. Ball's tipped. Ooh, that was dangerous. Ball was tipped into the air. Dixon was the intended receiver. Now, Minnesota, from a defensive standpoint, is looking at 2 stops and game over.
Illinois absolutely loves these situations, don't they?
Ooh,
right.
Don't they?
We outlined the one-possession games, the one-score games. I mean, they thrive in these situations, but the question is, can they do it again? And right now, Altmaier's looking really good and really precise.
All Bromser can do is look on. 3rd and 5. Altmaier's in trouble. Can't give up a sack. Buys some time. Has a first down and steps out. Boy, that's poise. That's presence in the pocket, is it not?
Oh, yeah.
Gain of 10. Stop the clock. Move the chains.
He doesn't do this on purpose, but he gives kind of like a fake spin out, right? And that fake spin out buys him some time. And with the defense knowing that you have to plaster the receivers, there's nobody there for him, and he just continues to mosey down the field and pick up a first down.
36 seconds left. Illinois, if they could win this game somehow, some way, and you look at the rest of their schedule, they could possibly have a 10-win season. Backside pressure. Ball is loose. Minnesota's on top of it. Game, set, match. Danny Strigo with help from Joe Joyner with the pressure. Joyner dislodged it, and Strigo on top of it. And now PJ wants a timeout, get his guys composed, and kneel on one in a victory formation.
And what's even better about this, Joyner's clearly being held.
Yep.
Right, being held, no flag call, but he still gets to the quarterback's hand. When you're a defensive end, defensive lineman, they always coach you, run the hoop, and get to the quarterback's hand. He gets there, balls out, and Strigo is there to recover, and PJ Fleck loves it.
What a moment for PJ. This could be 4 in a row for his program. 4 straight wins. And Joyner and Strigo with the play.
Wow, what a way to finish. We've seen Minnesota week in and week out continue to improve, continue to finish, continue to strain. And how about that play where you have one defensive end and Joyner straining to get to the quarterback, and then another defensive end and Strigo straining to recover the fumble.
Yeah. And that will do it. 25-17 is our final, and partner, that is as hard-earned a victory and as evenly matched a game as you'll find. And this Minnesota team, and you see the respect the two coaches have for one another, and they should. They've both earned it. This Minnesota team has Rutgers at Rutgers, then Penn State and Wisconsin left in front of them. This will secure a bowl opportunity for them. That moves them to 6-3 overall, 4-2 in the Big Ten. Illinois will drop to 6-3 and 3-3 in the Big Ten. But this could be a season-defining victory for Minnesota, particularly with Penn State left on that schedule.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, these last few weeks for Minnesota, it's been amazing for them, right? I mean, just riding high and winning in so many different ways. And PJ Fleck, he talked to us on the call. He said, hey, the rowing the boat thing is not really about me, right?
Yeah,
it's about
absolutely.
much more than just me, and you can see examples of that all over the film and all over the field today.
I am really excited for PJ and for Bromser. It was outstanding. Let's go down to Josh. He's got PJ Fleck.
Well, Coach, for the second year in a row, Illinois had a chance to steal one late, but what did you see out of your defense in response?
Well, I just saw them just keep fighting. Even with the fake punt there, they're resilient, had a touchdown. But all game, they were keeping us in the game. Offensively, we were getting too many field goals instead of touchdowns. But, it's a great crowd here. What a great atmosphere. Ranked team again. And so what? And that's what our team said all week was so what? Talked about the rankings, talked about college football playoff, talked about Tuesday's rankings. And these guys they said, so what? And just kept doing what they're doing. I'm really proud of the resolve of this football team.
4 wins in a row for your guys. What can you say about the performance that they're bringing to the table as of late?
We haven't been around each other very often. We're 1-0, right? It isn't about the streak. It isn't about a streak. These guys come to work just like that, and they come out with the mindset just to do it better, just keep doing it better. One of the greatest moments for our football team was in the locker room at Michigan after that game. That connected us more than anything. I'm really, really proud of this team. They're a dangerous team because they're connected.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
Roll the boat, Scotty Michael Gophers.
PJ Fleck, a happy camper for Devin Gardner, Josh Sims, our entire crew, Jake Jolivet, our producer, director, Dustin Dente, our booth crew, Michael Barshop, along with Scott Alexander and Brett Bender. This is Tim Brando saying, see that last play? It all comes down to that, does it not, my man?
100%.
Let's get you out now to UCF playing host to the Arizona Wildcats. We'll see you next week somewhere, somehow, on Fox. Goodbye from Champaign.